Hey yo, welcome back to a beautiful new week, and we got Arun back in the hot seat. I hope everyone had a great sports holiday weekend. I don't know why I said holiday, but a sports-filled weekend. I for sure did. Lots of stuff to talk about, not only sports, but also the market. Markets are having a decent move today, if you ask me.
I mean, they're confused.
Sir, what's up?
Let's be straight up. They're
Yeah,
confused on what to do.
they are.
And I mean, that's what you got to do on a market like this. You don't get too eager in either direction. You just try to play the ones that are at the edges of their ranges. And we've seen some crazy movement on Friday. So there's got to be some stocks that are either too far on the short side or just about to break some sort of level. So those are the plays you want to go for. And Prad, you want to start us off with the positions that you've got?
For
and
sure.
then I'll go ahead after.
For sure. So my first trade of the day was actually, I believe,
We're still on Sean.
Facebook.
Hold on. We're still on Sean.
My buttons are not working. Oh wait, restarted my computer, so I had to update my computer. So Stream Deck application is not open, so these buttons are not working. So let me,
There
could
you
you
go.
click that for me, please?
Yeah, I got it.
Uh,
All right, guys. Sorry about that.
we're good.
We had a computer issue there.
No, no.
We'll start you off.
Yeah, we're good. My buttons work now.
Alright,
I
go
just
ahead.
had to launch the application. I forgot. I restarted my computer. So Facebook is the one that I got long near 217, and I was pretty much building the position all the way back to down to 216, which was the support level that I see around 215, 216 over here. Bounced off in front of 216.15 not too long ago on the 8th of February. So leaning on that level a little bit. Got a decent long. I was up about $1.50 at one point, but now we're only $1 in the money. If Facebook does go back to the downside, we'll load back up. Peloton, something similar. Once again, using the dailies over here on Peloton, trying to see if Peloton would retrace back. How far would it retrace? So recognizing this 34 level kind of standing out for me. I got short on the break of the lower day, previous lower day at least, which happened to be 33.20. So on the break of 33.20, I'm in. My stop basically all the way up to $34. If the stock retraces through 34, I'll be stopped out. I'll take that loss and I'll move on. So far, letting it play out. I'm in the money 30 cents and just letting it do its thing. And the last trade for me that I just got stopped out not too long ago for profit was Moderna. So Moderna, looking at it on the dailies, you see January 28th low. I was a little scared about this one because I was talking to Arun, and obviously I'm just glad it worked. So I did cut my size on it. I'm glad it worked out. Gave me a nice, I believe, $1 or $2 scalp on this one. 138.90 being my entry, I believe, and best out being just slightly below 142. Looking for more opportunities across the board. Obviously, you guys know what I do with Activision. Just load up and let the stock pop up and get out on the pops. Every pop, every entry. So just rinse, repeat, recycle. Having a good day so far. Only one negative stock for me on the day, and that is DraftKings. And I believe that's because my stop was inappropriate, and DraftKings actually now in the money if you look at it. So I was long over here. I had my stop on the breakdown of 2280, but technically I should have had it at the lower day. Did not give it the proper wiggle room, and I believe either way, this just trade's not a good trade. Like I believe if you were to rate this, you would probably rate this as a C setup or a B setup instead of an A plus setup, and those are setups you want to look for. I believe like this Facebook was an A setup and this Peloton was an A setup, but that DraftKings wasn't. So I'm okay with taking that loss. I'm not gonna look for entry there.
All right, yeah, you can go up to my screen there so we can see, everyone can see what I've got here. I've got a mixed board, as you can see. I'm not heavy in one direction. I'm all over the place. I got equal amount of shorts. I got four shorts, 3 longs. Yeah, so we got a decent amount of winners here. 1, 2, 3, what? 4 winners, 3 losers on deck. LMT, Lockheed, big dog there, almost $7 in the money. I've already cashed some of that, about $5 in. So we got about half left. That's $7 in the money. I'm letting this one ride, and that one, for anyone wondering how I even got that price, I offered right into the open. So we never actually traded after the first 5 minutes. Lockheed never traded near 95 at all. This was the entry I got in on. This little flush up where it went up to 395.50. So I had an offer out there getting right in front of that 95. Got the fill, and then it was just straight down. We never checked back into that range. So pricing on that was on point for that entry. So I'm glad that I was able to get that price where I wanted it to. And then here we are sitting on a $7 winner. That's, like I mentioned, I cashed them out in front of 390 right here. Actually, I'll show you guys on the actual chart. internal chart or our software chart, so you guys can actually see the candles. There you go. There's your first, there's your entry right there on that opening move, exit right in front of 390, management. So the interesting with the management of this is that on the way after it broke through 390, I put my trailing stop just north of 393, and it stalled around 392.50 and then rotated back again. So now I've moved the stop one more time. So now, even if it were to come back in, we're locking profits in between 390 and 391. So that's going to, at least at the worst case, it's going to give you another $4 or so on the remaining half. So that's a nice little winner, and still moving. NVIDIA. So the thing with NVIDIA is, though, this is continuing the same read from 2 weeks ago. We've been working this 340 for weeks now. And the read was, initially when we took it above 340, we were going for the long. This is the daily chart. It was this 340. I was like, okay, if we can get above 340 or 240, if we got above 240, then we can probably use 235 and change, right? And this doesn't show the whole story because we did break down late in the day. There you go. So no. So overnight we were down, so I'll put the 60-minute chart so you guys can see the overnight. And this was pretty much it. We were trying to get longs right across here. Obviously we broke through on Friday late into the session. This morning I was like, I want to see how this 340 responds on the way back up. And once we took 340, it was like for 345 or so, I was like, okay, that 340 is back in play. The level I want to use is 42. I'm putting like $10 in risk, but the upside is now north of 50. So why not take the shot? And that's sitting on a $4.23. As you can see, though, I'm on the opposite direction for compared to everybody else. I feel like Prad, Neil, Sean are all shorting PTON, and here I am, like a sucker, going for the PTON long. But I'm okay with it because the read was, you know, my read, and it was to catch a bid off of the. Once we got support south of 34.50, I was like, I got it, or not 34.50, south of 34. I was like, I got to make a play for the long, and that's what I did. I went for the long here. Clearly, it's still heading down, but I think if we break 32, we can take a $2 hit, walk away. Why? The daily looks pretty solid. I think we have enough support here to justify a $2 risk, and if we get a move back towards 40, then we can get back into here, right? It's going to be a pretty good risk reward for me if we get that bounce. The risk is worth it. And then, what do we got? Starbucks, in memory of Ms. V. She is back tomorrow, guys. For anyone wondering, Ms. Valeriia will be back tomorrow. Her flight just got delayed, so here I am. I thought I was done on Friday. Nope, one more time. You guys get to deal with me for one more time, and then tomorrow she'll be back. From what I understand, she is on the plane. She is flying in, so she will be back tomorrow, and then it's back to Miss V and Prad, and I get to go back to what I was doing at home. So everything will be back to normal, and people were wondering, Prad, when is Platinum Prad coming? Now, I asked him the same question because he was supposed to be today, but, you know, things happened last week. We had to kind of push it a little bit.
Very soon, for sure. Very soon.
By the end of the month, he said. Otherwise, he's got to dye the beard, too.
Yeah.
And that's not a good look. So he's definitely going to put some effort into getting this done by the end of the month.
For sure, without a doubt. And guys, I was actually looking into, so apparently Arun's mic is having a hum and he's not loud enough. So I'll show you the difference right here. Hey, close this stupid box. So look at the difference right here, right? So look how low my volume is, and then look how high we have to put Arun's. And if we put any higher, the hum gets really bad. I put on headphones and I heard it. I think the problem might be something with the pin over here. His pin was previously broken when Valeriia was using it. So we do have new wires coming in. Just bear with us. I did hear it. I know it's annoying, but it's a little bearable still, enough to get Arun's beautiful voice and his value in still for the day. So we do apologize, and obviously I'm a little bit louder. Mike's very close to my mouth and everything else, so my volume.
You turned it down though, right?
I am bringing my volume down compared to yours, but
you turned mine down so there's no hum?
No, we did turn yours down so there's no hum, but there's still apparently the volume is not loud enough for yours, and there's a hum in the background. So your wire might be defaulty. So either way, we'll look into it, guys. But you know, we'll bear with us as new equipment comes in and we start moving over to the new setup very, very, very soon. That being said, looking for opportunities in the market. I believe someone called out Tesla. Let's go check out Tesla over here. Ooh, Tesla's actually moving nice to the north side today, 3.5% up, about to make a new high a day. We just now took out 890 to the high side, 893 being the high a day today, 893.40 exactly. So does 890 come back through with this down move in the market that I think we're gonna see back to VWAP? You know, obviously as Arun mentioned, market doing a whole lot of up and down, confused action going on. So I'm expecting a little bit of a retracement on Tesla over here, but also this is not too far of a dislocation on Tesla from VWAP in my opinion. So maybe there's still a little bit more room to the upside. Yeah, looks like, you know, Tesla does want to go a little bit higher to 900, and there is some support near 880 and 870, 875 levels. So near 880 to 870, give it a nice $10 level, because it is that stock that moves so crazily. Something that I did notice actually on my way to move over to Tesla is Moderna going back to that same price point which I was previously long at, 139.50, coming into play one more time. I'm not sure if I want to go long on Moderna this time, especially after having that conversation with Arun. So we'll leave the stock alone. You know, we don't know what the news is. Well, obviously Greg shouted out that the CEO deleted his Twitter. So I don't know if that's that significant of a news. There should be more behind it. And obviously vaccine mandates being lifted up in Ontario very soon. That's actually a big plus for me, if you ask me, because I was complaining to Arun about having to show a piece of paper to drink beer. Like, I feel like that's a little extra, but I'm just happy that we're, you know, things are looking to go back into normality a little bit in life. And if that's the case, then that means, you know, obviously your vaccination stocks are going to start looking to go down a little bit. Your your travel stocks, your travel stocks and your like your
Travel names.
travel names. There you go.
There you go.
In general, will start picking back up, like your RCL, American Airlines, and your cruise liners and so on. So let's actually check out what American Airlines is doing in the moment. AAL on Nasdaq. AAL on Nasdaq today should be up 1.5%, kind of sideways if you ask me. What's the volume? 13 million shares. High a day at $18.30, and right now struggling to even get back to $18. So let's see if American Airlines can make a move back up to the north side. Speaking about vaccination stocks, I also want to go look at Pfizer. What is Pfizer doing? Pfizer today, actually obviously on the down move, 4%, and currently low a day 48.48. And I do believe that what's the stock that I'm trying to think of? One of these vaccination plays that had the efficacy ruled out by FDA is now getting a faster FDA push for the vaccine pill. So I forget what the stock was, but if I do remember, I'll bring back to that.
All right. Well, there's Johnson & Johnson. There's Merck. There's AstraZeneca.
No, not the main ones like that. I was like, obviously, I read the morning CNBC watch list that they send out,
okay.
and in that it was in there. Maybe ENPX, maybe, or something. Maybe
NPH?
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, NVAX. People are talking about NVAX. I'm just quickly looking at the chat. What can we possibly trade? Now, I saw Moderna, but I saw Moderna late. For anyone who knows the history of how I trade these stocks, I choose NVAX over Moderna because I suck at trading Moderna. So when I saw that Moderna, anyways, I saw it when it was in the mid 140s. I was like, oh damn, that would have been a great trade at 156, but it would have never been on my radar. Had it been though, that would have been a great breakdown through 156 to take the short right off the open or within the first little bit of the open. So and Moderna, a nice little move to the downside. How do you position into a trade now? I think that's something we can get into because you're not going to be always on top of it. Sometimes you're going to miss the trades. You're going to come to it late, right? So I got to figure out how I can trade Moderna, and I'm looking at it now that it's in the 150 price point, and it's been a while. I feel like the dynamics and the way it trades is going to be slightly different. So I'll give Moderna another chance. And the first thing I'm going to look for is the daily. A lot of times you'll see me, instead of typing in daily on the time frame, I'll type in 1440. That's just for me to see the daily, including the pre-market movement. The way that eSignal runs their daily chart is that it does not include pre-market movement, right? So it's only regular trading hours. So 1440 is still 24 hours. It's just kind of price, or just the time frame is slightly different to include pre-market. So it's midnight to midnight instead of official opening time, right? So I'm looking at Moderna going, okay, south of 144, and this is a wide chart, but south of 144, could have been the breakdown, right? That's what I was thinking when it actually did it. And now that we've bounced off the low, back to up. Lucas, is that a new mic? Oh, Lucas coming in with a brand new mic. All right, this issue may have been fixed already because the mic has been delivered.
What mic is that?
It's the same mic, it's just a new one. All right, Valeriia going to be starting tomorrow off with a brand new mic apparently because Lucas is going to take care of this soon. So 144, south of 144 opens the door for the downside. The low of the 24th of January is going to be 138 something. Prad, this is what you were trying to play long off of, right? 138.17 is the low. So what I'm looking for now that I've seen a late and I want to figure out how I can trade this is going to be, can we bounce up a little bit? Can we bounce up a little bit into the 144, 145 area? And based on what the 5-minute has been showing me, I can use 148 right here as the stop point. So as long as we bounce a little bit up, I just want to see some sort of micro movement into the 144 area that stalls out. At that point, I can put the risk on and see if we can't take the low. Would I chase the low break? Absolutely not. The upside is that you get an acceleration, you catch a quick scalp move. The downside is that it could be a false move going right back to the mid-range, and then you kind of float around here for a bit. So the risk is too high for me to take that shot, but I would like to see a move towards 144 and see if we can actually get that move. Prad, you want to take this over as Lucas goes to fix my mic?
For sure. Another fixture coming in by the tech team over here on like super speed over here. These guys are on top of their game. Right now, what I am noticing is NASDAQ getting ready to make a push to the north side. Let's see if we make a new high a day on the NASDAQ futures. ES also getting a nice move back to VWAP, but still down on the day compared to NASDAQ, which is actually up 0.6%. So let's see if ES can manage to get back to the green side today. And I do believe the European markets are still scared of obviously what's going on in the European side of the world. I am looking to reload on my Peloton short because Peloton, I did say I'm going to lean all the way up to $34, and if $34 gets taken out, we won't be short anymore. So I'm getting ready to add back onto my position. Let's see if they do give me shares, and obviously I'm going to stick to the same stop. And I'll probably complain about me getting stopped out improperly because technically I have to give it all the way up to 34.60. So that being said, I'm probably going to move my stop a little bit further away from 34 now that I see a little bit more consolidation areas. You know, obviously look at this pre-market consolidation, look at this off the open consolidation, and struggle to take out the 35 level off the opening drive. So noticing all of these indications, I'm going to load all the way up to 34.40, and then if 34.60, 34.40 gets taken out, we'll take that loss and we'll move on. We'll be the second loss of the day, but nothing significant. We're still having a good day thanks to Facebook, thanks to Activision. Look at that, Facebook's still moving. We got 2 exits so far, and we're holding 1/3 of our bag left on Facebook over here. I have no reason to really exit from this trade until the market tells me or gives me a reason to. Maybe I can move my stop down over here on the break of 217.73, maybe on the break of 217.50. Should be my stop in profit, and my at that point my stop in profit will only be about 50 cents or 40 cents or so. But either way, we captured a good move on Facebook. Facebook's getting ready to move north side. Something else that should be ready to move north side is, there we go, AMD, Microsoft. AMD might be coming to an area where I was looking to short previously, but I don't know if I want to short AMD now at that same level. So AMD 118, the reason why I was looking for that short is over here. So this line over here that I have 118, this was the one I was actually trying to go long off of on Friday, and I got destroyed. Absolutely got destroyed. Got Cathy woodshedded on that AMD long attempt. So now that we're coming back to those same levels, I did want to go short, but I got, obviously I didn't have the nuts to do it. I thought the market was going to keep on ripping north, and I was wrong. It did come down a good $2, but now that the market's actually getting ready to rip north with volume still increasing on the green side for the NASDAQ futures, I don't know if I want to stand in front of that. I'll wait for it to go break 118 again, show me that it's really struggling to stay above 118, and you can tell that sometimes by reading the tape. You can look how it it's going to break above 118, and it's going to be hard for it to stay on the 118 on bids. So I want to look for those patterns before I get back on, not get back, but if I want to get in on the short over here. Moderna actually still holding up above 140 and actually moving back north side over here with the overall market. So man, Arun and I were joking over here. It was insane because my order was 138.29 to get long, but then I moved my order up to 138.90. I would have literally had the bottom wick entry on Moderna and never had to look back today. Overall, I'm still happy with this trade that's playing out, but I'm happier with Facebook. Microsoft. Where is Microsoft currently? Moving back up north in a beautiful fashion. This is actually where I would gladly look for an entry to go short on at Microsoft, because Microsoft over here, look at these 296 level. I think is kind of significant. So I'm gonna give it a little more time, obviously because of the market. But look how we've been just trading sideways in this range for so long. So if we do go a little bit closer to 296, I'm okay with taking that short on Microsoft and giving it about 50 cents to 75 cents on that short to see if we could capture the move to the downside on this bad boy. Peloton. People are talking about Peloton. Let's go. Peloton, says Lori Mikik. Let's go check out what Peloton's doing. Peloton's making a nice move north, obviously. So if you are long off these bottoms, congratulations. But this is what I see on Peloton. On Peloton, I see this day's low, which is actually yesterday's low. We're struggling to take out that yesterday's low so far. So if you put the line over there, see how the body of today's candle is pretty much around that same price point, even though the tail or the wick or whatever you want to call it did go to 35 and did go all the way as low as 32. I think if you're playing the trend is to the downside, and the move is almost all the way to 31.62. Granted, the market needs to show us weakness for that move to be happening. So that's what I'm playing off of. My stop obviously being 34, 35, $34. So we're going to keep scaling into the short side. Until then, we're only 31 cents out of the money. Nothing too worrisome for me at all. Facebook now $2 in the money. Let's go. That means AMD should be closer to 118. Indeed it is. Let's go AMD. Let me see if you can actually have the strength to take out 118 today or not. Since we're talking about AMD and a bunch of all the chip stocks, let's go check out Nvidia. Oh yeah, here's Nvidia about to go test 248 for the second time. 248 already broke once. We're gonna try and see if we're gonna take it out for the second time here. Someone called a TLT, so I wanted to check if something's being called. Here we go. Facebook taking out 248. Not Facebook. Nvidia taking out 248, going north side. Can we see a trade on Nvidia? Ooh, that 250 level stands out. Obvious 250 level standing out over there. So we'll wait for that price point to come in to go for a nice short on Nvidia whenever that opportunity arises. Higher day on futures. You are 100% right. Higher day on the Nasdaq. Is it the higher day on the ES too? The way that I am seeing right now, obviously with the pre-market data, it's kind of I have to really work over here to see if it was higher day for. I mean, who cares, right? We're about to go almost positive on the ES. We are almost 1% on the Nasdaq. Look at the volume actually not decreasing on this up move, which is good. There's follow through on this up move for the Nasdaq market. Tech sector booming, baby. This is what we like to see. And something else that we like to see is our bets hitting yesterday. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know that I was having a crazy betting weekend. I made so many bets. Oh man. So on UFC, I threw down about $150. Sorry, no, I threw down $50 and I only made $9. And I took that 109 to blackjack, turned that into $650, right? Cashed out my initial 150. I took two $250 bets and I lost both of them. And I basically ended break even on the night. So I learned from that and I took this bet right here. So Bet365 gave me $23. I put it on Odell Beckham Jr. getting first touchdown. Ooh boy, OBJ came through. Won $90 with that. Took that $90, put more bets down, and I only won one more bet over here. But I took this money, took it to blackjack, and I doubled up, and I'm at 125. So 2 days in a row, blackjack doubling up. Living cash money, young money moolah baby. But what a sports filled weekend. It was so much fun. The honestly though, let's be real. If the halftime show is more important than the sport, that's a bad thing. right? Like the halftime show was so much better than the watching the actual sport. That was I don't know if you want to ever do that. That's so bad. OBJ always comes through, yo. OBJ came through, baby, with that $90 cash money. Cash money. Gamblers Anonymous. Yeah, yeah. Prad, how do you use the NASDAQ as an indicator? Well, I always use these market proxies. I call them proxy because you're gauging your trades off the market movement and so on. So if I am long on, let's say, a tech stock and the market's coming down, I don't want to be long on the tech stock. So it's basically overall basket understanding of what I'm trading. And since I do trade a lot more tech-related stocks like your sadly Peloton comes under tech, I guess, but more tech related stocks like your AMD and Nvidia, Facebook, your Apples and so on, and Nasdaq 100 tracks them so perfectly that I like using that as a proxy. But obviously if you're trading like AMC or something that actually you guys wanted me to pull up today, so let's pull up AMC. If you're trading AMC, then you might want to be watching the Russell 2000, the IWM Russell 2000, because AMC is the #1 weighted in the IWM. The IWM also holds 2,000 stocks, so it's a bigger basket of stocks. It's a better gauge to see how the overall market's doing, kinda, instead of looking at the Nasdaq 100 or instead of looking at the S&P 500. So you can do that. Something that I also tell people to do is this right here. If you go to TradingView and type in TICK, this is basically NYSE cumulative tick. What that basically tells you over here is how many stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are ticking up right now or ticking down. So 0 obviously being 0. If we're below 0, that means most stocks in the New York Stock Exchange are ticking down. And if it's above 0, then most stocks in the stock exchange are ticking up. So you can use this little indicator at the same time to time your longs and your shorts to see if you are on the right side of the market. Wow, Moderna. Wow, Moderna moving all the way to 143 now. That long looking a little bit nicer. You laughing over that one. Borat, a little bit of a Borat coming in over there. Here we go. Let's see where Moderna moves to. mRNA, baby. It's ripping right now. All the way back to VWAP almost here. 144 coming in very soon. Oh, man, I'm crying now that I got stopped out, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Palantir's ripping. Let's go. Palantir's ripping. My dad kind of made me feel bad today on my way out. He's like, wait, didn't you buy Palantir at 18? Isn't it dying? And I'm like, yo, dad, chill. Just go back and go trade your AMD. Let me buy my Palantir. And so overall, though, Palantir moving up north today, 4% up. And we're enjoying the fact that Palantir's kind of coming back to my average price. My average price being $18. A little bit of far away from that. But I did watch a YouTube video today on my way to work about how Palantir is filing all these S8s, which is basically free shares that they give out to employees or like people who work for them or whatever. And those are bad things in a way, apparently, according to this market maker. And these are just dilution events. So Palantir, the reason why we're crashing so much, according to him, is dilution events. They just keep on filing for more and more shares in the SA filings, and there is no reason for a company to have 1.8 million or 1.8 billion or some crazy number like that in the S8. So if all that is true, then obviously dilution events not good for me. But hopefully in the long run, Palantir 2 years out, if Kathy Wood can help us out over here, we can also make some money. You know what I'm talking about? We can all make some money here. Peloton coming back down to the downside for me. Thank you. Now in the money, obviously only 0.3 cents in the money, so nothing too serious there. But it's working for us. Still no negative stock other than DraftKings today, and I only lost about, I believe, how much did I lose? I think I lost about 25 cents on DraftKings overall. So that was my only loser for the day. It would have been a winner if I stopped appropriately, or if I placed my stop appropriately. So because I didn't do that, it's my only negative stock on the day. Bros. So let's go check out Dutch Bros over here. Apparently Dutch Bros is moving to the north side. Hey, let's go. This was a coffee company, right? If I remember correctly, I do remember watching this one going to the moon on the IPO day, and I was like, what is going on over here? Anyways, Dutch Bros taking out the high day, making a new one at 53.65, and volume not bad. I'll take that back. Volume's actually lacking. We only have 400,000 volume over here. What the heck? Okay, the spread's also spready, no volume. So I'd be a little careful, because if there's no follow through for this up move, since there's already no volume today, I'm not sure what we're gonna see overall.
You're still going, man.
We're still going?
Yeah, you still gotta go.
Oh my God.
New wires now.
Yeah, I thought that was. I knew the wire was faulty, because before Sean had to come in with the like pliers or something and fix the needles for the wire.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know the wire was faulty over there. Ooh, first super chat of the day, 420. My favorite number, my favorite time of the day, favorite. Obviously it's 420 somewhere always, right? So no matter what time of the day, it's 420 for me always. All jokes aside, hey, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the knowledge, Prad. You're the man. Hey, I'm just soaking up information from every source that I can. Especially these beautiful sources that I got. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Brandon over there. Just soaking up all the info that I can and regurgitating to you guys, because not only is learning, but also teaching is a form of learning. So the more I say this out loud, the more I talk to you guys about this, the more I'm teaching myself, and I hope you guys are learning from that too. So let's all put this knowledge in the bank along with some money in our pockets. You know what I'm talking about. Nasdaq still moving north side. Let's see when that rejection candles are going to come to the downside so we can look for some shorts. I want to go check on AMD. Is AMD above 118 now? AMD still not above 118. Actually, it did get above 118, created a new high day at 118.38 and back below 118. So now I think that's the perfect chance for a short for me. I'm going to take the short. We're going to give it the high a day. Let's see where we can take this one down to. Obviously, we had to chase this entry a little bit, but I'm fine with my average price at the moment, and I'm also fine with the risk that I have to give it. So let's come on AMD to the downside. Looking for more opportunities over here. I'm actually staring at my proxies, which is your volatility index. Volatility index came down below VWAP. Let me pull it over here. Came below VWAP slightly, but here comes the green candles. Oh my goodness, my mouse is kind of broken over here. Here we go. We're fixing things. Awesome. Coming back over here. Any stocks you guys are looking at, feel free to throw it at me. LVS, MGM, Penn, yeah, for sure. These are your gambling stocks. So your casino stocks, your gambling stocks, all must have had a great time with Super Bowl over there. Let's go check out what LVS is looking like today. Las Vegas Sands. There we go, man. 8%, 4%, 8%. Where did I get 8 from? I'm dyslexic with numbers now. 4% up to the north side. Did break 47. Is trying to keep on continue to the north, but looks like a little bit of a down move coming in on the market. Let's go check Penn and then DraftKings, I guess, to wrap it up. I don't really trade MGM too much. Let's go check out Penn. Penn should be looking good. It looks very illiquid if you ask me, even though it did trade 1.29 million shares traded today. That's not enough for Penn, and the spread is a penny. Spread's not that bad. Let's go check out DraftKings real quick. DKNG on NASDAQ. DKNG on NASDAQ, 10 million shares, looking better on the liquidity side, but obviously range bound sideways, boring, putting me to bed. SoFi, ooh, now that's something, man. So I was watching this GQ documentary, not a documentary, a YouTube video about how grand the SoFi Stadium is. Like, I heard all these words, I even heard Sean talk about it, about SoFi Stadium and everything, and, none of that fathomed in my head until I actually watched this video, and I was like, wow, $5 billion. Like, they dig a hole underground and they put the field underground. There's like nightclubs that you can, like, you're partying in and you're watching the field directly from the nightclub. That big Samsung screen, the Halo screen at the top, like, bro, that field is insane. I thought this would be like some normal Toronto Air Canada Center, like Scotiabank Center. Like, no, was I wrong? Oh my goodness, that stadium is banger. I gotta go visit it one day for sure. That stadium is banger. Hey, Arun's back. My throat needs rest.
Yeah. Well, guys, let me know if there's a hum. There might be still a hum. fixing them. We put in brand new mic, and we put in brand new cable. So if you guys hear something that's not clear, just let us know.
They can't hear you at all because the voice bar is not moving. I can see it.
Unmute me, Lucas.
No, talk.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, maybe get closer to your mic.
Hello.
Yeah, your volume's really low.
You want to take it over?
For sure. You talk real quick. Let's see, Arun.
Hello.
Yeah, see how his bar only hits negative 30 decibels while my voice hits like negative 15 and negative 10. So his volume's still low there. Maybe your software needs to be readjusted. I don't know if they checked your software on there. So SoFi, man, talking about SoFi, you know, what an insane stadium. Obviously, I don't think Sean and everyone has talked about this. The money that the stadium is going to bring most likely is going to go to the franchisees themselves and not SoFi, because SoFi pays to put the name on the stadium. At least that's how I know Scotiabank works and Air Canada Centre work. They paid to just have their name on there, but the money still goes to the people who own the stadium, which is the franchisee who own the teams and so on. So that being said, I don't think SoFi benefits a lot from that from the Super Bowl, but for sure it benefits from just having their name being talked about everywhere. Like everyone is just talking about that stadium since yesterday. So that's got to help it some way. SoFi in the long term, I'm very bullish for SoFi in the long term. I actually bought more shares on SoFi. My average now being $13.80 for SoFi for my long term. So let's go. I'm just bullish. I'm very, very, very bullish on this one. It's advertising. Oh yeah, it's for sure advertising. SoFi was built with tons of grants and tax money. I mean, that's all stuff that we don't need to talk about. All that matters is how beautiful of a stadium it is, and what is the potential for SoFi as a company in the future, and what are the chances of me going to that stadium and partying in the nightclub with Saint Lion. You know, so that's more important to me than all of that. Now, beside. Arun, thank you for the wonderful 2 weeks for knowledge. And yeah, he's going to be here too, so don't you worry about that too much. He's going to be here as long as his mic starts working again. All right. Moving back to the market a little bit. So we just talked about SoFi. We talked about Palantir. We talked about DraftKings. What else do I have in my portfolio that I can maybe talk about here? I'm kind of forgetting my own portfolio now. PayPal. Actually, I bought some PayPal. Let's go check out PayPal. Might be time to buy more shares of PayPal. Not soon, not anytime soon, to be honest. But I'll wait a little bit longer to buy more shares of PayPal. Where did my chart go? Let me open my chart up. Chart. Open. Awesome. PYPL on NASDAQ. So PayPal today obviously being the lower day at $113 and now all the way back to $115. If we do go to 118 or even right now where we're at 115, I think that could be a spot to look for a short and giving that risk of 116 on PayPal. So we'll take that short. We'll give it that risk of 116 and see if we get stopped out on this bad boy. You have such great knowledge, Arun. Indeed, of course. Arun, how much experience do you have in the market?
How much experience do I have?
Yeah. Like, how many years of experience are you in?
I am, next month, it'll be 16 years.
16 years?
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably longer than I've been in Canada. Around the time I've been in Canada. That's insane.
There's a lot of, well, I lucked out too, right?
You wanna talk about anything in here?
Sure, I'll sit down. My positions are doing just fine. So while Lucas and crew fix the mic, I'm going to just sit over at Prad's desk. He needs a break. He's been talking the entire time, so I can quickly look at what Prad's doing. But yeah, I've been here for trading for 16 years next month. And it's been quite the ride, right? There's obviously with trading, there's ups and downs, and there's a lot of them. So here we go. That's
the YouTube chats.
Right? Oh, there we go. There's the chats. I sound louder from far away. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The guys are over there. Prad's levels are much different. If it's too loud, we'll kind of move things around. Prad, I'm quickly looking over your positions. Okay, nice little win on Facebook. Nice little ATV win. AMD short, looking good. PayPal. What's the Peloton short doing? Out 18.5?
Out 18.5, yeah. If you can just click on Peloton, the chart.
Oh, you have it linked. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm scrutinizing Prad's. Oh, okay. I see you. I see you working with the moving averages.
Yeah.
Okay, he's learning. He's doing well. It's good to see you making smart decisions. Hopefully, you guys have learned just as much as he has. Clearly. What else are you guys looking at? Oh, I mean, my positions are doing just fine in terms of ask questions, guys. At this point, I'm just gonna look at quickly. Take a quick. Oh, hit the likes. That's something I haven't done yet. So hit the likes. I don't know what the like count is yet so far. Do we know what the like count is? Are we good? Lucas says he thinks he figured out the issue.
Just talk for a second. Mike's not picking up over here in the levels. Oh, okay.
Unmute. Sorry, guys. We're just trying to deal with this on the fly.
Test.
Oh, there you go.
Is that louder?
Lucas fixed it.
Nice
Lucas.
and loud.
Lucas
Test.
is,
Test.
All right. No humming, right, guys?
Please,
Lucas
no
Fox.
humming.
All right. Let's get back to our desk. Brad, sit down. I'll go back to mine, and we'll figure this out.
Your water?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. All righty. Let's bring me back on. All right, guys. Back to my desk. Everything is good. Yes, Lucas with the fix on the fly. Brand new mic, brand new cables, and they got it done. Slight hum. I mean, the hum is still there. Much improved. Okay, we'll take it. We'll deal with it after the market's closed, and especially with the new desk coming in, or the new desk being set up for these guys with Prad and Valeriia. That'll be taken care of by the time they move, right? They're going to have brand new audio.
This is so much better.
Yeah? Okay, it's going to be brand new audio packs and monitors and cameras and all that stuff. So that will be taken care of. This is going to be a temporary fix for the time being, and then when they move to the next the desk up top there with beside Sean and Neil, it'll be all brand new. So come back to my screen and you see it here. It's already on my screen.
Yep.
Lockheed still going. LMT 533 in the money. Nvidia now up $6 in the money. That's still moving with the market going up to the upside. Peloton still on the short. I'm still on the long side. I went for the long when everyone wanted to go for the short, and I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be a fun ride. But here we are, out 61 cents. This was twice as bad before. Now it's only out 61 cents. Starbucks, it was a good short initially, has turned on me, 39 cents. We'll leave it as it. And SBLK has been a problem since I got in. Now, I got it on SBLK way like here pre-market times. And it was like, with the spread and whatnot, it was like 50, 60 cents in the money. And then this is what happened on the market, not even the market open. It was like, what, 850? Yeah, it was like 850 and just sort of nosediving. My stop was south of 119, so we kind of bounced right back up, bounced back to the 125. Here we are still kind of coming back in. But for the time being, SPLK, my biggest problem because of the fact that it just doesn't want to get past that 125, and that was my read. 125, north of 125 was good. Oh, and shout out to somebody in the chat. I can't remember who it was, talking about Zillow, Zed. Because you guys put it in the chat, I took a quick look at the chart. I was like, oh, I want a part of that. So I jumped on board just before this mic issue, north of 60. As you can see, I got the 60.07 long, and that's 32 cents in the money. So shout out to you guys for putting stocks in the chat. I'm not always going to take all this. Obviously, I'm not going to take every single stock. But what I'm looking for is certain setups that fit with what I want to do. And in Zillow's case, north of 60, getting above the high from the 6th of January 12th, and then the high from the last few days, and then clearing the round number, and then staying above and trading well. That gets me involved. North of 60. Stop is about $3 away. Upside, I can get at least $3 into 64. So for me, risk reward, setup, everything solid. I like this trade. So shout out to you guys. That's completely on your read, right? So I had nothing to do with that except to take the trade after seeing it. But thank you guys for shutting that out. On Zillow, outs again, 63 into 64. That's my target on Zillow. Futures, of course, we've been talking about futures. I've been, Mr. Index has to say something apparently from the way you guys have kind of put that on me, or at least named me that way. We talked about it this morning. Actually, let me bring up the chart that I was using this morning on the futures here. It's not doing a whole lot, and I was not expecting to do a whole lot either, right? I said that we were trading what here? It was about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We were trading about 44.05-ish. And I was like, well, there's nothing to do unless we move about 50 to 60 points to the upside and 50 to 60 points to the downside. I don't care which direction, just go 50 to 60 points, and then we're going to enter the zone where I can actually start working some trade, whether it's a short up top or a long down below. I really don't care. I'll go either way, just move. And it looks like the market refuses to do that. So in that situation, if the market doesn't want to do what I need the market to do, I won't trade it, right? I don't need to force any trades there. Of course, there's going to be, 50 to 60 points is a big move. But for the way I trade, I need that kind of a move to set up, and then I'll be comfortable. Of course, there's going to be like intraday moves or momentum moves that you can catch in between all the way up. But I'm willing to forego that for my type of quality setups. So in this situation, I'm just going to wait it out, and I'll just ride these out. Lockheed, NVIDIA, Oracle on the short side doing fine. PTON making a move to the upside. Okay, PTON now out only 29 cents. After being $1.30 something out of the money, now only 29 cents out of the money. My read on PTON is this, right? And I think we talked about this last week, Prad, when we were talking about PTON, and you were I think you were looking to make a buy or something like that.
I was going to short.
You were going for the short, right?
Yeah.
Were you going for the short? Okay. So what I was looking for on PTON, and the reason I went for the long is this. Let's get this chart loaded here. All right. So obviously around 38 into 40, there's resistance. We're coming down. But the long setup from the 8th of February, when we rallied like crazy, right? We went from 26 all the way to 30, 40, and then we kind of just tapered off and lost the strength. That, to me, is not, the fallback isn't necessarily a sell move. It's just us kind of tapering back a little bit or coming back a little bit, falling off after such an aggressive move. As long as we didn't take out this 32, there's two lines here. Shouldn't be that one. As long as we didn't take out this 32, I was like, this long could still be valid. And then what I wanted to see was this market was moving strong to the downside on Friday, kind of tapered off around 35. And then I wanted to see how we would trade today. If we found any form of strength, I wanted to go for the long. As long as the risk made sense, I'd want to go for the long. So here we are. We kind of fell off a little bit through the lows of Friday, went through 33.50, caught some bids, and went back above 34. To me, that's enough strength. It's strength in an area there where I want to see strength to go for the long. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take the long. I'll go for the 34 long, risk $2 towards 32, and see if we can actually get a move back towards that 37, 38 area. That was my whole play. And obviously with the market moving the way it was this morning, it fell off a little bit into the 33s, and we were out of the money $1, $1.30 or so. Now we're starting to get that turnaround. But some of these type of trades, though, that's kind of the game. You have to wait them out. As long as your read is solid, that you just got to wait it out. Your read is based on a much larger time frame, so just because it's going against you in the meantime doesn't necessarily mean that it's over, right? It just means that it's going to take a little bit longer. I can be flat all day, and then we might make a move towards the end of the day where it starts to run. So in this situation, I'm kind of just waiting it out. It's either going to go or I'm going to lose $2 and I'll walk away from the trade. That's simple as that, right? So there's nothing else really for me to do. PTON's going to do what it's going to do. We've got the NVIDIA going as well. We've got some profit targets out, so in front of 250, so that'll be an $8 winner if we can cash them out there. Lockheed's I'm already managing Lockheed, so that's going to at least put in $4 or so, $4.50 at the very least if Lockheed gets stopped out. Oracle hasn't done a whole lot. It's only 26 cents in the money. PTON, again, making its move. Starbucks out 50 cents. And you may have seen me with Walmart. I walked away from Walmart as well with I think it was like a 30-cent winner. I didn't like the way Walmart was moving. I took a nice little move towards that break, not just a break, but 134 seemed somewhat significant. And then we were up $1 and change, and then we caught some bids, and I just didn't like the buying where it was coming from. So we walked away just north of 60. It's like a 30-cent move, 32 or 33 cents on the win side on Walmart, where we are out of Walmart. So for now, here I am with 4 longs, 3 shorts, and the winners are moving. They're moving well. And then we got a few flat trades, and then SPLK has done absolutely nothing. And then here we are with Starbucks out 50 cents. All right, what else you guys got? What else are you guys trading? Algorithms will run it from here. I guess my algorithms will run it from here. I'm not smart enough to make algorithms, but you got to contact the right people, and they might make it for you. All right, NASDAQ. That's the other thing. I keep talking about the S&P, but I know a lot of people like to look at the NASDAQ. So let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ futures, and you guys put whatever. If you guys have questions, you guys have stocks that you think are setting up well on the larger time frames, I'll take a look at those too. NASDAQ futures chart. Actually, you know what? Let's bring up the daily with the 200 and 100 DMAs. Here's the thing with this is the NASDAQ on the left-hand side. So I'll just maximize this now. So nice little move. Clearly, there's a nice little bounce here. But the issue for NASDAQ is now, look at what you're dealing with. Do I want to draw that? No, I'll draw this one. Look at what you're dealing with right here. Right? You see that? That's a decent amount of previous support that this market is going to have to run into. And that means they're going to have to get through this to actually go back to the buy side. So is this move to the upside, does it have enough juice to actually get through all of this? For me, this is why I was looking for a 50-point move, because the ES is similar. They're running into some resistance as well. As you can see, it's right here. It's the same kind of setup, and they're running into resistance. So what I want to see is this market run up, make a run up, a decent move to the upside, and then start to fade out. So it starts to lose some momentum, and then we can actually maybe counter that run up and short it, and then see if we can actually use that previous support, which will be now resistance, to get this back down towards 14,000. That's kind of the game here on NASDAQ and the S&P. They're moving, the charts look pretty much the same. Even though the NASDAQ is up 0.73 and the S&P is flat, the charts look pretty much the same. It's that run up into that resistance from 14.4 to 14.650 or so. That's going to be the problem, and that's where you're gonna pretty much find out whether this market has juice to go or does not. Because that move on Friday kind of opened the door for the downside. It's just a matter of how much upside is left, how much buying is left, and how strong is that buying before we can actually start to fade it. So for now, we're just going to wait it out. Nothing to do on the futures. They look in tandem with each other. So the NASDAQ and the S&P, even though they're, tech is obviously stronger. And Lockheed's fine. Splunk, Zillow coming back in. What else are you guys talking about? QQQ. Yeah, that's what I just talked about. KSCP.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
KSCP was up huge, right?
Night scope up 35% based on a news that they added Suzanne Muchin to board of directors.
Okay, so they have a new board member, and it's taken off to the upside. What can we work with on the quick daily here? Because I did look. I did see that the daily is fairly thin. Not a whole lot of data. This is all we've got for data. So when you're playing this game, you got to be on top of it, right? Because you don't have a whole lot of info to work with. It does look like, obviously, 6 even is going to be a problem. Okay. And it does look like, what is that? 11 is going to be a problem. Let's break that down. That's the daily chart. So let's break that down to maybe a 60-minute chart to get some more, detailed information. Yeah. So that's 650 is going to be slightly under. It's like 595, I think, is a low from the 27th. And then the 11 even should be fine. I would even argue that it's actually a little bit more. I would even argue that it's 12. But it does look like it has space to go. I mean, it's not. If you haven't caught the move, it's the risk on this trade now has gone up too high for you to catch it. Like if you got the price initially around that 750, you could justify the $1.50. But now if you're at 850, I mean, what's your upside before you hit some resistance? At least minor resistance. You've got about 950 and then 10. So the risk has kind of shifted a little bit. The trade was there early. If you're going for it, obviously this is not my forte per se. So I'm going to stick with it. And I just noticed that Airbnb went off on my radar there. Let's see why. Why did Airbnb? What was the alert I had set up? Above 170. Okay, I was probably looking to fade Airbnb towards 180, I think. Yeah. So what my read on Airbnb is that because of the way that the daily was setting up, you see this, right? You see this resistance level pretty much into 177.50, 180-ish. It's up here. Pretty much the highs from the February 10th, 11th, and also from the 4th of January or so. There's something above 172, 173 that's going to be a problem going on up. So what I'm looking to do is, can I potentially fade this into that resistance level? We're going to break it down to the 60-minute chart. That's your high right there. We can argue 178 is going to be the top end. And here we are north of 170. I just wanted to keep an eye on it. Now we're at a location where, okay, can you actually start to slow down? Because the strength is there on Airbnb. It's hesitating a little bit back and forth. I want to see some more action up top. maybe a new high, intraday high towards 172, and then that starts to fail, at that point I'd be more comfortable putting up the risk on Airbnb, but definitely something that the alert has gone off. And for me, I'm just going to leave it here on Airbnb. And then Moderna is, I'm not even going to bother with Moderna because Moderna is doing Moderna things at 141. So we're still waiting for more info on Moderna before we get involved there. For the time being, we're just going to ride that Lockheed and NVIDIA position, or both those positions. That's pretty much going to cover the entire day. It doesn't even matter what the rest of them do. Oracle can lose, PTON can lose, Starbucks can lose, Splunk can go down, and Zillow can go down. It doesn't even matter, because between Lockheed and NVIDIA, that's like $13.50, and I've already locked in $5 on half of Lockheed. So I'm perfectly okay carrying these. Obviously, if I start adding more, then it's going to be a different story. But for the time being, I'm just going to go through what you guys are talking about, and
I
see
could
if we
take
can
over
trade.
for a bit.
What's that?
I could take over for a bit. You
Yeah,
tired?
go for it. Go for it. No, I'm good. But I mean, I'll go through the chat and see what people want to talk about.
If
But you can go ahead and
yeah, I just don't want you to feel tired.
No, go for it.
All right, cool. I just don't want you to get too exhausted there. AMD, I did take a profit on AMD. I think I was about 80 cents in the money off that short, and then I threw a stop out for in profit. So if this does rotate back, I'll get stopped out for profit. And I'm only doing this because I have no faith in AMD's down move, and I don't want it to continue to the downside because obviously I'm invested in AMD, so I don't want it to continue on a down move. So I'm gonna have a stop out for profit in case it does want to go back to the north side. Activision getting ready to give me more profit targets. Scalp all day, every day. You know what it is. PayPal now 40 cents in the money, so maybe we could take off our stop and also take some profits on the down move here. We're actually 40 cents in the money. Look at this consolidation from pre-market through all the way to what opening through open. So maybe I want to look for some profit over here on PayPal also. Now that I'm saying it, let's see quickly. We're going to take that. We're going to leave some over here too on PayPal. And in the meantime, Peloton, we took our third entry on Peloton. Could just be wrong on the direction over here at this point. You know, we are averaging into a loser. But I do have my stop, which is basically this high right here, 34.60 being gone equals I am completely done on this trade for the day. So we'll let this stock do still what it wants to do. We're leaning on that same resistance, at least what I believe was resistance over here at $36, near 35.60. Wait, is that the same number? Yeah, near 34, 35, 34 is what I'm looking at. So this day's low. So basically yesterday's low, we're still trying to lean on that, but Peloton now on today's candle turning onto the green side. So the trend indeed turning to the green for Peloton. The market helping out that stock too, because markets, obviously 6.62% up on NASDAQ, and your ES is very, very, very close to being green. We're only down 0.15% on the ES. Look at that big volume candle midday. That's like around 10:33 on the futures. So big volume candle over there for the green side. Market getting ready to show some strength one more time, even though not too long ago we got that scare from Bouchard. Is that how you say his name? Bouchard or Bouchard?
What?
What's that guy's name who came in and he disrupted the market? Bullard, thank you. I thought it was Bullshard for some reason. Like C-H-A-R-D.
I'm sure there's people saying that, but, but no, it's Fed Bullard.
Bullard. Okay, yeah, so that he came in and disrupted it. So everyone's scared, still. Wasn't there an emergency meetings today or something that, remember people were saying that?
Well, everyone, apparently, okay, so there's a lot of info there. Apparently, it's a typically scheduled meeting.
Okay.
But now people are just reading into it saying, oh, there's going to be something, a special hike between that. Like, obviously, everyone's now, because the rate hike is soon, everyone's starting to be like, okay, well, now this means we're going to raise twice or half a point and all that stuff. So everyone's really reading deep into every little bit of information that may have already existed beforehand. I don't know if it was like, this is just based on what people were saying in the chat on Friday, saying that it's scheduled monthly. So I don't know if I don't pay attention to the schedule unless it shows up on my calendar saying FOMC minutes, Jerome Powell testifies or Fed rate decision, it's not something I look into.
Okay.
Right? Those are the events that I care. If there's a testifying thing in front of Congress, it's a 2-day event. I'll pay attention. Obviously, the FOMC days you got to pay attention to. And in the event, there's some random comment here and there, like Bullard, coming out. That's something you got to keep an eye on as well. But apart from that, it's not like, oh, look, there's a scheduled meeting. They're going to do this or that. No, you just deal with it when it happens, right? This market's obviously trying to prepare for that. But at the same time, this market's taking a breather after having one crazy, crazy move on Friday, because that was aggressive from pretty much like 1:30, 1 o'clock pretty much until we hit the bottom around 2 o'clock. It was like in that 1 hour, we went nuts, right? Obviously, there's a lot more to it, and then we continued further down, but quite an aggressive move, and this market's taking a breather, and I think this goes back to what Joanna was asking, do you want to go short the NASDAQs? But again, like I said, the market is stuck in a smaller range inside of a bigger range. So it's the range is why I'm not going to touch this market. If you are going for trades inside of this range that we're currently in, if we can get outside and just open it up a little bit, 50 points either side on the S&P opens things up for me. But if you're trying to play inside, then just understand that the limitations are going to be based intraday. So if you're going for the trade, you have a limited upside. If you're going for the short, you have a limited downside, but it doesn't mean the money isn't there. It's just I'm waiting for a much bigger move because I need to be able to position properly, right? So if you're going for the quick scalps inside that, be aware that there's space. If you clear 51, you probably have space until 50, 53, half 54. So there's a possibility for a long. For the short side, if you go for the short at 349 and we kind of rotate through this 51, let's just say you go for the short at 349, right? And you try to use this 351, which is this area here, which was a problem on Friday. Let's just say we try to use that same area and go for the short. Well, if you go for the short, keep in mind, based on what this market's shown you today, there's going to be some support around 348 and 347. So pretty much all the way down until we break through 345, and then you got to deal with pre-market, and then 342. So there's moves to be made on either side. Just be aware that it's limited. Until this market really opens up, all moves, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, is going to be limited. Obviously, we can grind through and continue this trend, and then it can be like, oh no, I could have, I missed out on this type of a run. But you got to pick the days where trading is easiest and not try to trade every single day, because some days trading is difficult, like extremely difficult trying to catch the moves. And those days, you don't need to burn yourself out trying to figure out what to do or trying to just do something. Just make, path of least resistance. I say this when I take trades, right? I'm always trying to take trades where the path of least resistance is obvious. And for me today, it's not obvious. So I don't want to burn myself out or think too much about trying to do something. I don't want to try to force a trade in this market because I can't see it. So I'd rather just deal with the trades that are easiest. Like I don't have to worry about Lockheed. That was an easy read. I caught the right price, and now it's just doing its thing. NVIDIA doing its thing. Oracle, flat. PTON coming back in a little bit. Starbucks out. Splunk, SPLK has done absolutely nothing for me, but again, still within the read, and Zillow coming back in now. So I don't have to worry about this. For me, this is easy, right? You make the reads, you take the trades, you let them manage, you move on. I don't have to worry too much about them. Even if they don't work, at least my read didn't work. I'm not trying to force or trade in a market that doesn't want to move. So for me, I'd rather just trade like this, just easier. It's less stress, as stressful as trading is. It's just easier for me. So I'd rather just wait for setups like this. And I'm going through the chat and see what else you guys want to talk about. What else are you guys talking about? And Evil E, I finally went back and I actually read your the initial joke that you put out that I missed. I obviously it flew right over my head, and then I read it back. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Now I get it. I'm on. I caught on now. I was a little late to the party, but I caught on with what you were trying to say earlier. All right, what else we got here? Oh, I'm scrolling up, and all they're doing is making fun of Bullard there. Good job, Prad. Look what you did.
I don't know what his name was. Look, that's the first time I've heard his name before. I thought there was a C in there. I thought it was Bullchard. That's what I thought his name was. And of course, I feel bad now because I see these messages and everyone just ripping this guy a new one. Like, yo, come on, guys. Like, give him a break, yo. Let's come back over here to the market. Bull shark. Wow, you guys are insane. Too creative for me sometimes. Obviously, I'm debating my AMD short one more time. So like I said, I'll get stopped out in profit. I got stopped out in profit. AMD making its ascent back to the north side over here to see if we can test 118 one more time. We did it twice so far today. The first time was a weak break. The second time we made a little bit more of acceleration than the first time, but once again back under 118. And here's the third attempt to do something similar. Can we break out 118 and go higher? Obviously, I'm staring at your Nasdaq, I'm staring at your ES, and both of them showing me a little bit of a struggle at the high over here. But if those highs get taken out, then why won't AMD do it is the question. So I'm just being very patient. You know, this time of the day, usually I am known to give back my money after having some profits banked, because the market makers or so I believe they're always out to get me, but technically it's always my fault. It's not they're out to get me. I just made a wrong trade and so on. It's fighting algorithms at the end of the day is what I'm trying to get to. I'm fighting computers and I'm wondering why I can't win. They're better than me, they're smarter than me. So I'm gonna wait until the retail order flow comes back in from probably after 1 o'clock or so, because this is officially lunchtime. From 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, you see a lot of volume being taken out of the market. You see people going to their Nobus, their hibachi, their omakase
What
grills.
What is your infatuation with Nobu?
I just love Japanese food. That's why.
Okay.
And I believe that everyone.
But is that the only restaurant that you know of?
No, if they're rich, they're going to the famous ones. They're not going to like these mom and pop sushi stores that I go
never
to.
understood that. Good food is good food. Who cares what the name is?
I agree. I think Nobu's actually washed up, and you go to Nobu just for like the name brand. It's like having a Balenciaga sweater. Like you're paying.
Let's not go into Balenciaga.
Yeah, it's like you're paying $100 for a sushi that probably tastes equally as good as a mom and pop store.
Oh man, I've seen some crazy stuff. When I was going looking for my jacket, I started looking for I saw hoodies and whatnot too.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, this is a cotton hoodie with the logo on it, and you want to charge how much?
900.
No, no,
Yes.
we're not doing that. No,
900. Exactly. I mean, we might have to do that with Trader TV brand though. Put some $900 hoodies, only one off one. You can only buy like maybe 3 with the
what
NFT.
is one of one? People have been wondering, and I've just kept up with it. The shirt that I wear at home when I'm on camera at home. That's a one of one, guys.
Oh, the plaid one?
The polka dot.
Oh, I'm thinking about a different one.
The polka dot. To be fair, it's not polka dot. If you actually look into it, it's supposed to be like a solar eclipse kind of situation with the sun and whatnot. But I mean, obviously from far away, it looks like a polka dot. That is one of one, and that is still being worn. I just don't wear it when I'm here. That's my on-camera at-home shirt. So only for any of my webinars with the managers, or if I'm or the 9 a.m. when I come on to do futures. Those are the only times you're going to see that shirt being worn. I essentially get on camera, or I put it on, get on camera, and then I take it off. That's just for camera and camera only. So starting tomorrow, it will be back. That shirt will be back, and I will be back at home. Valeriia will be back. She's flying in. She's, what's gonna be hilarious though? Well, it's not hilarious. I do feel bad for her. She's gonna be jet lagged.
Oh yeah,
she's gonna be jet lagged. I'm surprised she's actually flying in the day
and she
before.
comes here like early too, so like
she
she's
may
gonna
not
be
even
tired
go home.
the whole
She may
day.
just bring her luggage here.
Yeah, she's gonna be tired the whole day.
She's gonna be so I don't know. I'm just surprised that she actually didn't like come earlier in the weekend to give herself like a couple days to kind of level out before coming back on. But yeah, Valeriia will be back tomorrow. And the other thing too, Prad, I messaged Valeriia. I'm just like, the chat really wanted to get you a gift for Valentine's Day, so that's Prad's platinum hair. And she never messaged back, so I guess she's not impressed by that. But anyways, okay, what do we got? Airbnb. I got to go back to Airbnb. That's still on the radar here. Nope, nothing to do with Airbnb. Moderna's doing nothing. Futures have gone quiet. So let's see what else you guys are talking about. Well, Prad, you got anything?
Yeah, I got
the
super chat.
Yeah.
You want to go for it?
No, you go for it.
All right, so Ganguly, of course, #1 super chat of the day always goes to Nick Ganguly somehow. $4.99, always that number too. He loves that $4.99 number. Yes, Prad, Kenny Boy, Ken Griffin. Oh no, is he out to get me? Yeah, looks like he is out to get me according to you. You called, or he called you and he told you. So there you go, man. These market makers are always out to get me. They're trying to take money from my mouth, from my pockets. You know, they're not happy with their billions and billions of dollars that they get fed for free from companies. So didn't know you were gone, lol. But yeah, so basically it was just, you know, the whole Ken Griffin situation is insane. Oh damn, forgot for a few days. Here's another donation. Oh my goodness, thank you, brother. Thank you for that Platinum Prad Fund. It's gonna happen very soon. Trust me, very soon. I still haven't told my mom yet.
You shouldn't though. You should do it and then tell her.
Yeah,
do it and then let her find out. Don't even tell her.
I'm supposed to record the reaction. Remember? So I'm gonna try recording the voice.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try recording the voice and see.
Just
if
make sure that
out.
you protect your face when that happens.
I'm gonna have to put on a helmet, like a hockey helmet or something.
You know what's funny? You were talking about sushi, and it just reminded me of like one of my trips. So when I like a few years ago, actually, when I went on my my last big trip, anyways, I did like New Zealand, Australia, and Hawaii over like 2.5 months. And on my way to Australia, I was just like, okay, so I read about this specific sushi place. But it's not even in Australia. It's in Tasmania, which is still part of Australia, but it's just, you know, you still got to fly there from Melbourne, actually. And in Tasmania, it was even in the capital, it was like off, like an hour away. And this guy's only open twice a week, 11 to 2, Friday and Saturday. He catches his own fish, and like dude sells out.
Like he makes it fresh, like sushi, omakase style.
No, like he actually makes sushi, but like the man catches his own fish because he doesn't have to do volume, right? Yeah. So I heard about this. I'm like, I gotta go. And when we were doing this trip, I'm like, I gotta go. So we went specifically from Southern Australia, flew into Tasmania, and then drove an hour out just to go to this place. And also had to make sure we were there on time because apparently he sells out before the 2 p.m. Cutoff for him, and he's only open twice a week. So hey, and apparently the rest of the week he just surfs. So had to go out. I'll tell you one thing though, one of the best sushi I've had though. Still, like it was worth every like little bit of travel and everything that goes associated with that just to get to that spot. Worth it, 100%.
Okay.
So it may not be Benihana or it may not be Nobu, but hey man, it doesn't really matter what the name is. If the food is good, the food is solid, and yeah. It makes me hungry now when you guys. Tasmania is a different country, but apparently it's still part of Australia.
Commonwealth.
It's still part of Australia's. It's still included in Australia. So yeah, I thought Tasmania was a different country too, but I found out it is not.
Okay. Sushi is super easy to make, yeah, but like, no, it's the experience you're having at a sushi restaurant, and especially if you're having like the, you know what, if anyone know what omakase is, like, it's like fresh in front of you. They're like making it for you. Like the chef is like prepared the fishing. Anyways, enough food talk. I'm getting hungry. Let's go back to the market. My mouth is watering here. What's that?
I said, do we even know what lunch?
It smelled like pasta when Sean and Neil were eating theirs, so I'm gonna guess it's pasta. In which case, I'm probably gonna go get super chicken. So, dude, that pasta is it's just doused with tomato sauce. That's not even pasta.
I mean,
it's just doused with tomato sauce and just thrown some vegetables over it and some sausages here and there and some meatballs. Like that's like a blasphemy to pasta. Like I make a way better pasta than that. Come on. When is the Fed results from today's meeting? I don't think there is any results dropping. If anything on the FOMC happens, we might see it then.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even it's the minutes, right? It's the minutes from the last meeting. So you're essentially what you're going to get is what direction are now members leaning based on the last discussion that they had. That's what it is. The actual rate decision is going to be next month. So the minutes are going to essentially just point to which direction people are leaning, and then based on what has been said already, obviously people are making assumptions of an emergency rate cut. And if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think people just need to figure out what the market looks like, what the structure is of the market looks like. And somebody was asking what does or the structure looks damaged to the upside. It's just going back to the daily. If you can put it on my chart there, my screen there, Prad.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, this market has one level to get past. It doesn't matter if it's the NASDAQ or the S&P, has one level. It's this area. It's this 44. I guess the level we broke is 44.40 into 44.80. Essentially need to clear 4,500. If the market can get back above there, it clears the previous support and then gets back up top and then has a chance to extend. If it can't, if it loses steam anywhere in that zone, then there's going to be an option for it to fail, kind of flow back down, fade off, and then you're going to start seeing the lows of 4,300 and pretty much 4,200. That would be where it's at right now. It's going to take a few days to make its mind up, unless we get some news coming out of either the Russia-Ukraine situation, or Bullard or Bullshard, as Prad likes to say, opens his mouth again, or you get some sort of news hinting in the direction of where the Fed is leaning before Wednesday. Right. Though, apart from that, this market needs to figure out some levels, and it'll take some time. But once it does, you're right. It does need to get through some levels to the upside. But if it does, there's a wide open move to the upside, and as long as we can clear that, then there's a real chance for this market to get going. If we can't, well, then there you go. Right. So for the time being, we're waiting. That's all we're going to do. I know a lot of people don't like waiting when it comes to trading. They want to be in the game now. They want to trade. They want to consistently be on the keyboard, but that's not what trading is. Trading is making the decisions when you need to make them, executing them when they need to be done, and then the rest of the time is a matter of actually being patient and waiting it out. That's just trading, and that's just the game to be played. Obviously, there's different approaches. That's my approach. If you guys want to do scalping, then you're always on the keyboard. But that is exhausting, as I've said before. So best of luck to you guys if you guys are scalping, because that's constantly being on, right? For 6.5 hours, you're constantly being on, trying to take everything. So if you are doing that, just make sure your accuracy is pretty high. But again, there's so many different ways to make money in the market, and that's just two of them, right? There's algos and all this other stuff, swing trading or whatnot. So be aware that this market is in a location where it needs to make up its mind, and it looks like it's going to be a slow day, at least for the time being. Anyways, this could change in a hurry, as you guys saw on Friday, but it does look like, from the way it's looking right now, that it's going to be a slow day.
So people still talking about KACP. Obviously, you guys heard how it's so hard to find levels on a stock. It's like, so how many days has it traded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The stock is literally only traded 13 days so far since existence, and for you to find levels, it's gonna be like just guessing game overall. So what I am trying to look for right now, however, is how did the stock trade today? Where was most of the volume transacted today? By using volume profile, looks like most of the volume was transacted around $7.84, and that volume is more buying than selling. All the way under that, the ratio is still more buying than selling that I'm seeing. The ratio kind of flips. Where does the ratio flip? Over here, above 840, the ratio flips to more selling than buying. And there are some people who are trapped at $8.73 because the ratio over there is more buying than selling. So people are trapped at 860. They are looking for a move back to 860. If that move doesn't happen back to 860 as an intraday, I'm going to expect whoever is trapped over here for intraday is going to close for a loss. So watch for another move to the downside. That's obviously in case we don't go to test the high a day. Whoever is long near $7.80, they probably have their stop at 740 or at 720. We're just guessing over here at this point, trying to understand psychology of the traders. So whoever's long here, their stop is probably down here. Whoever's long here, their stop is probably down here. And whoever's long here, they're already trapped. So now the shorts are in the money. So whoever's short over here, their stops are above these price points. So if you just look at today's chart and you're looking for an intraday trade, then this is something that maybe you could use for your help over there. I personally, I'm going to stick to what Arun said not too long ago. patience, looking for the right moment. I don't think this is the stock I want to be putting my money towards. This I would classify as maybe a B setup. Then there's way more A setups out there that the market's going to present us with. One of them happened to be AMD, obviously, which I missed out. That AMD move at 118 give you more fills, but I'm not going to take that fill because I'm a little chicken at the moment. We're not too far away from VWAP either on AMD. The overall trend on AMD today is to the green side. We've been just consolidating sideways for so long near VWAP today. So I'm not really sure if being short on AMD is the right thing to do. So I'm done with that idea overall and shelving that. So a couple positions recap that I'm on. Peloton now 12 cents out of the money. Still playing around near VWAP. PayPal currently 17 cents out of the money. Just added another entry to PayPal apparently. Sorry. So no, not another entry. I just reloaded. Okay, I'm reloaded. So PayPal just gave me my my reload entry, but PayPal's getting ready to go test 116 one more time. Let's see if we can actually take out 116 here. And even if it does, I think my wiggle room is about 50 cents above here. Average is 115.75. So it's 116.50 goes, then I'll get stopped out on my PayPal short. We already got one decent scalp on that short, and this time if we lose, that's fine. We pretty much break even on the stock today. That's PayPal. We talked about Peloton. Let's go check out Facebook. Facebook coming down a little bit, obviously, because the market's struggling to take the reclaim the highs and break through those highs. So something similar that AMD, Facebook's looking kind of closer to that. Obviously, AMD's near the highs. Facebook's near under VWAP and actually down on the day while we're talking about it. Activision, you guys know what I'm doing there. And BDSI is just the buyout stock. Not much really there to explain besides if you're not, there's not much there for traders like retail traders normally. So we're just going to leave that guy alone. Lucid Motors. Let's go check out Lucid, our EV stocks. Obviously, you guys remember how heavily I was trading EV stocks when they were the hot girl on the block. Your Rivian, your NIOs, your Tesla Motors, all of them just having crazy moves intraday. Lucid today having a crazy move in itself, 9%. Here we go, man. I'm wondering though, when do the Saudi Arabians start selling their lot sizes? You know, they did say they want to hold it for the long term, but I think some of them have dumped already a little bit because they got scared of war. They might have gotten scared out of inflation. You know, multiple fear factors out there. Fear is not a factor, but yeah, multiple fear factors are out there floating around, incentivizing people with big money to actually sell. So I'm guessing we saw some selling coming in from the Saudis, but this is not too significant amount of selling that we could theorize that without any proof. So we're just gonna leave that theory. What does matter though is what does the chart tell you? You know, Arun always tells us who cares if they made their selling, who cares if they bought their selling. What does the trade give you? Is there a trade opportunity here for us at the moment? Let's see, it's near $30. I do see this on the daily that $30 is somewhat of a resistance. So if you do go short here on Lucid, you have to give it that room to 30. Let's go look at it on the dailies. LCID. Yeah, look at that $29 level actually, and even this level that we actually took out, that $28 level, which was somewhat of a barrier, but I'm just gonna move that barrier to 29. And if you are short, you have to give it the room to 29. But look at today's trend, man. The stock went from $25 to $28, up 9%. Do you really want to be fighting the trend? Something similar to what Arun taught us on Friday. You know, instead of trying to short AMD, instead of going long AMD on Friday, why didn't you look for opportunities to short the pops? And if I did that, man, my trade would have been way better on Friday.
Oh, yeah, you're fighting the trend is what you were doing. You were essentially fighting the trend by doing that. Quickly, there was a super chat, right? JD's asking for info on...
No, he said for the story that you gave about Tasmania, he needs to try the sushi.
The sushi place? So I looked it up. And the guy is actually, I guess he's actually putting more of an effort now instead of just 2 days. Is this one right here? It's Masaki's Sushi in Geefston in Tasmania. So take a quick look. I think he's got, he's great food. So if you're willing to make the drive out there, fly to Tasmania and then make the drive out there. Definitely give that a shot. Because that's definitely solid food. I'm looking at right now in terms of stocks, Airbnb. Still keeping an eye on for potential shorts. Remember, we were talking about this potential fade on Airbnb. It came back south of 170 now. Now we're bouncing back a little bit. I just want to see these highs get taken just a little bit, and then we can figure out whether we can actually fade this or not. So we'll leave that one there. And Lockheed is doing fine. NVIDIA doing fine. Oracle, flat. Peloton coming back in. Starbucks, Splunk. Zillow turned on me a little bit, but Zillow was solid. With the read on Zillow north of 60, I still like the trade. So even if it comes back in, that's fine. I don't mind waiting this one out. The location, this is pretty much, if I'm going to take a trade, this is pretty much where I want to take the trade. And if we lose about, through 58 into 57, then I'll just walk away from it and take the hit. But for the time being, we're just waiting it out. Everyone, I think at this point, everyone's waiting it out, right? What are you guys trading? I'm looking at the chat. All you guys are talking about PTON going down and ISPO halt on the upside. Let's take a quick look at ISPO on the halt. Is it halted? No, I'm not seeing it halted. It's trading. It's just got no volume. Maybe it was halted earlier. Maybe I'm late to the party here. Maybe it was halted. And ISPO, yeah. But there's next to no volume on this stock. So it's 260K. I think we can move on from that. There's nothing happening on this stock. Even if it's moving up, it's got 260K. You can't really do a whole lot of volume with that. You can't do a whole lot of trading with that. So we're just going to wait for that one. People are asking, they just joined, where's the platinum? It's coming. It's coming soon. He's waiting it out between his face healing. It sounds so weird to say. His face healing and him figuring out how he's going to let his mom find out. It's coming. Before the end of the month, it's coming. And hopefully before you show up at the new desk with the new setup up top.
Yeah.
So they'll go on that. Peloton hitting the low of the day. I don't think so, because if Peloton was hitting the low of the day, I'd be out more than just 36 cents. So we're going to move on that. Crude, yeah. What else we got here? If he didn't dye his hair, he better be wearing a wig. He's dyeing his hair, Joanna. That's happening. This man is definitely dyeing his hair. He's got no way out of this because he said this. We got the like count up. He said it wasn't going to happen. He had very high faith that it wasn't going to happen. We got it up to
3.1K.
Counts. So it's been proven. And then we called him out on it. He said
fake
if he doesn't
counts.
get it done by the end of the month, then he's got to dye his blonde. He's got to dye his beard blonde as well, which is not going to be a good look, or some other color, some ridiculous color, which I think it's probably not going to go well. So I don't need him looking like Joker out here. So maybe a reverse Joker. Anyways, so I think blonde is a good color to go with. And we'll just stick with the hair. And, he's got a motivation to get it done. And, so ISPO, all the BTC to the downside. Yeah, I'm going through the chat, see what else you guys are talking about. There's not a whole lot. It's a slow day. Hey, if it's a slow day and we're not doing a whole lot and you guys are trading or not trading a whole lot anyways, hit the like. If you guys got nothing else to do, just at the very least hit the like. So we've got how many likes here? 679 likes out of 3,000 people. I know I haven't been pushing the likes. When Valeriia gets back, she's going to be on top of you guys for the likes, right? We did strong. We did well. 2K, Monday, Tuesday. Then we did 1,500 average for the rest of the few days. I think we did 1.7, maybe 1.7 on Friday. I'm not even sure. But anyways, just hit the likes. And let's move up in the algorithm, on the YouTube algorithm, so we can get going. Anyways, guys, it's a slow day. Clearly, it's a slow day. Just put it in the chat. What do you guys see that's moving that's actually tradable? There's a difference between it moving insane and not tradable and it moving like fairly high. Even my alert system, which is based on trade rate, so the higher the amount of trades that go off per second, it should be up here. I'm seeing AMD up top, pretty sideways on a 5. Spiders, obviously. KSCP up here, up 31%. Moving up off this 8 even, now up 24 cents from the last low there. And Microsoft is up there. Rivian is up there, up 11.5%. That's gone sideways. What else, you guys? All right, there you guys go. Wave, Palantir. All right, let me take a quick look at Wave. What's Wave doing? Wave down 8%. That's like dead, isn't it? So I'm not even going to get... There's like no trading on Wave there. So yeah, I'm not going to even get into that one. Neo with up 0.85. That's a decent move actually on Neo. Let's quickly take a look at the daily. Is there anything to be done? This is the first thing I'm going to do, right? I'm going to look at the daily, see what else can be done. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot that can be done on Neo today. So we'll come back to Neo another day. KSCP, yeah, we talked about that one just now. EBON, KAVL, Tesla looks like it's ready to rip. Let's take a quick look at Tesla. Yeah, well, Tesla is always going to be, if you want excitement, you go to Tesla, right? But the issue with Tesla is where it's sitting on the daily. And also, for me, it's the price point, but also where it's sitting on the daily. We were talking about Tesla last week, and we're like, well, it needs to either get through 1,000 or break through 850 to get going. And where do we open up, or not even open up? Where did we trade in the pre-market? Just underneath. Give me the 60 then. Just underneath, yep. And then a nice little rally. We caught the bid. Essentially, by the time the market opened, it opened just above and then took off to the upside. So it looks like that
Facebook just popped $1.
Which one?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay, there you go. There's something that's moving. Let's take a quick look at Facebook now. Nice little bounce. Double bottom, I guess, against that 216 low from the 8th. So we can mark off the 16th as a potential bottom. And then where does Facebook need to clear for me to be comfortable with the idea of a long? Actually, you know what? I might be open to a long here. Huh. Okay, Facebook.
You're giving it the 216 low?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Facebook could be good because the reason I'm saying this is because there's more in the pre-market. We were trading around 216, 217, going sideways, and then we popped up into that 218, 219, well 220 actually, and then came back, tested the pre-market lows, and put in some more volume through that bottom there, and now we're finally getting back above 219.50. This could actually be a decent long. I'm gonna look at Facebook for a potential long. So we'll move it to this chart.
You want me to take over while you tow some orders?
No, I'm going to wait a little bit more before I force my hand. Unless you're doing something that you want to talk
I'm not doing anything. I just, if you need management, let me know.
I mean, hey, listen, when Valeriia gets back, you're going to have to put in some work. So, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot going on.
Fair.
So we're going to wait it out. I can talk a little bit longer. WBA, well, Walgreens Boots Alliance. Let's take a quick look at that. Oh yeah, that's quite the move today. Okay, that's a mover. Let's take a quick look at what the daily looks like. Okay. This is the level I immediately get glued towards, 48 even. So breaking under 48, that stays strong, should give you a move, I would think. Stop should be good north of 49. Take a quick look at what that could be. Oh yeah, see, I don't like it when it's this thin on the move down through a level. The reason being that there's no volume that I can work with. I need to see resistance to kind of work with so I can trust the move. When it's straight down, I don't get to see. I don't get a chance to see what the buying looked like on the way through these levels. So I would prefer to see some action back and forth before we take a level versus Walgreens just went pretty much from 49 straight to 47.5. Without putting any volume. So there's a trade that could be made there, but I also want to see what's kind of in between here, that 48 and 48.50 right through here. I want to see what kind of volume is left. If there's still some selling there, I'll go ahead and take the short. But for the time being, we're going to leave it be, and we are going to go back to Facebook. Again, Facebook's strong, so this could be a nice long. I'm going to look at this a little bit more. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Facebook as a potential trade here. I'm going to remove Airbnb. I think I had Airbnb for a potential fade, so I'm going to actually move the alert on Airbnb. If we get back above 172, then I'll look at it again, which essentially puts in a brand new high, right? So if it fails the high, then I'm going to take a look at this. And I'm also keeping an eye on Moderna towards 144. So I'll put, if we get above 144 on Moderna, I'll take a look at potentially fading that as well. So for now, we're going to put those in, and we're just going to look at Facebook as a potential setup. SBLK finally coming back in a little bit more. I'm noticing that NVIDIA is starting to kind of take an extended move as well. NVIDIA, yeah, trying to hesitate towards that 250. I'm actually waiting in front of 250 to get some out, some profit taking. But if we lose, I think 244 at this point, I'm going to have to walk away from NVIDIA as well. So if we lose that level, I think we're done with NVIDIA for the time being. Walk away with the $2 winner. Right now it's sitting on $6, but we'll just keep an eye on this one. And if we need to step down, we will step down, but we'll leave it as is. All right, what else are you guys talking about here? Palantir. Okay, Palantir. I see you guys on Palantir. And oh, quite the move today on Palantir. Almost 5% on the day. What does it look like on the daily? I guess not surprising given the support you're getting south of 13, right? I'm not a fan of this type of trade, this type of setup anyways. It's just wedged in here. These are the days where I don't want to trade stocks like this because the win-loss percentage or accuracy for a trade like this is, for me at least, I've noticed that it's very low when it's trading like this, so I just walk away from trades. It's not high enough for me. It's not set up well enough, so I just kind of walk away from that one. Why not take NVIDIA profits now? I am going to. I'm going to give it the chance because I put up a decent amount of risk to take the position. So I've already got orders out there to take profit. So I'm going to trail it pretty much until it gets to that point. I don't need to kind of rush the exit because you can always justify trying to get some out now, right? I'm just either going to manage it out. I don't see anything that's concerning to me just yet. So if there's nothing concerning and I already have a trail place or location where I can trail it, why not just trail it all the way until I either hit my target or the trail stop goes off? I don't need to step in between because there's nothing concerning to me right now. There's the way it's moving. Yeah, it's stalling out. It looks like around 248, but it's not an issue just yet. If we were doing this higher up, I think towards 249, 249.50, and we were doing this sideways action, I'd probably step in and walk away with, I'd be like, you know what? I don't need to fight for the extra 50 cents. We'll just leave it be, walk away. Yeah, it's coming off a little bit, but that's part of trading. If the market wants to come back down a little bit, that's fine. It's going to bring NVIDIA down with it. Not a problem. That's just how the market wants to trade, so we'll leave it be and leave it alone. SE, crazy volume. Yeah, so the crazy thing with SE, I was actually trying to get my hands on SE before the initial drop. Well, after the initial drop. So I didn't see it when it dropped through 140. But once we set it up around 137, 138, I actually put the offer in. Never got the fill. I was close. This little 950 move to the upside, I got close, but didn't get the fill, so I canceled the order at that point on SE. It was a trade I was looking at. That would have been nice, too, from pretty much from 136 down to about probably by the time I trailed out, probably 130. Nice little $6 winner locked in. But, yeah, sometimes you don't get the fill. You need to get the prices that you want that make sense from the risk perspective. If you don't get them, I mean, it's okay to walk away from a trade, right? You don't need to catch everything. So for me, I'm just kind of waiting.
Gotta catch them all, Arun. It's Pokemon. Gotta catch them all.
There you go. That's why I was startled there for a second. I was like, you just came in. You came in quite aggressive with that Pokemon theme song. So are there any Pokemons that you want to go catch right now in the market?
There is a Pokemon that I did try to catch. What Pokemon did I just try to catch? Let me see. I think I'm losing my mind. Wait. I think I threw a couple orders. Let me see what I did. Palantir. That's the Pokemon I was trying to catch. There you go. So someone called out the Palantir is moving. It's ripping. So I was looking at Palantir levels. I threw an order to get short. Did not get filled. The stock started moving away from me. So I'm just going to wait patiently for that Pokemon to come inside the Pokeball without chasing the Pokemon wildly and then losing a Pokeball. You know, it all depends on how many Pokeballs left you have on the belt. If you run out of Pokeballs and all Pokeballs are empty, then you can't catch no Pokemons. In other words, you gotta have the bullets inside your gun if you want to take the shots, okay? So I'm not gonna chase this Pokemon over here. Let that Pokemon run away from the tall grass. Once it comes back out of the tall grass, a wild Palantir's appeared. We'll throw our Ultra Ball. We'll catch that short, and you know we're not missing it at that point. And then you hear the and then your Pokemon has been captured, and we'll ride this Pokemon to the downside.
Can you tell me what's the difference between like what a normal ball,
an Ultra Ball, and a normal ball? Yes. So Ultra Ball gives you a higher percentage of catching the Pokemon, whereas a normal ball does not give you the same percentage of catching that Pokemon. And it also depends on what the rarity and the class of the Pokemon is. So the Pokemon is a higher level, higher class. Mm-hmm. You need to use the Ultra Ball to catch it to increase your probability of catching it. If you use a normal ball on a high level Pokemon, it's gonna break free and run away.
There you guys go. You guys just there you guys go. Getting schooled on the rules of Pokemon. Were you one of those I guess one of those players that was going around playing that game.
I cheated. I sat at home. I had a Windows Phone emulator on my computer, and I would set my GPS to downtown Toronto. I'd sit at home catching Magikarps at home.
What satisfaction do you get from that, though?
Bro, you know how hard it is to come to downtown Toronto from Brampton to catch a Magikarp?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't know the struggles I go through, bro. It's hard over here for a life, okay? The life I live is not easy, okay?
Okay.
I gotta travel for 2 hours to catch a Magikarp, or I can just turn on GPS and just sit at home and catch Magikarps.
Or you can just sit at home and not do it.
No. Magikarps need to be caught. Listen, I have over 300 Pokemons, and I don't even play that game anymore, so maybe I didn't need to. All right, coming back to your Niantic, if you're coming with a new game. Oh, speaking about games, I watched a video about not Stream Deck. What's it called? Steam Deck by Valve. That unit looks pretty cool, man. That unit looks so cool. I love that new console. So let's see if that ends up working out. Palantir, like I said, we're gonna wait for this Pokemon a little bit longer. AMD, I was actually looking to chase AMD over here, but then I immediately told myself, wait, what am I doing? So don't fight this trend right now. It's still close to VWAP, and usually my targets are VWAP, so no trade for me here. And Facebook, what happened to Facebook? Facebook did go pop up a little bit to almost $1 from 218.20 to 219.60, so more than $1. But now here comes the down move on Facebook to VWAP. Let's see if the support can come in somewhere around here, so we can start moving back to the north. My biggest trade of the day today is Facebook, and now I'm currently $1.71 per share. Peloton still out of the money, but I'm not sure. I'm most likely wrong on this direction. If the market can help me out by going to the downside, then obviously Peloton, I'm probably cashing out on it on the profit side. But only two negative stocks on me today are DraftKings and PayPal. You guys already know what happened with DraftKings, but here's PayPal. So obviously my first short ended up working. I reloaded, and that reload ended up getting stopped out. I'm gonna sit out on this trade now. I don't want to be short in this stock another time until it approaches I believe the number was 118 or so. So there you go, 118.55. So until 118.55 shows up, I'm not gonna try and short PayPal one more time. Was positive on the stock, but now I'm negative on the stock, but pretty much flat on it, absolutely flat on it. So we'll stick to our strategy over here, let it do what it wants to do, and maybe give us an opportunity later today. And if not later today, we know that level is gonna be again put into use tomorrow or somewhere down the week. So we could play with that level somewhere down the week. We don't have to force that play at all.
All right, I'm looking at Facebook here. We were looking at Facebook potentially north of 219.5 if it would stabilize. Yeah, no, it's backing down now south of 219 again, down towards 218 and change. So we're gonna have to box this thing in, right? So we're gonna have to put 219.5. We need stability north of that, and then we need to essentially what it needs to do is get above, trade above, and then come down a little bit, so we can get a good, nice little price there, or if that makes sense. And then 216 is going to be the low on the bottom. That's kind of wedged in here. So here we are waiting for, I was going to say Pokemon. Waiting for Facebook to make a move. In the meantime, hey, you see it. Zillow back and forth, now back in the money. Oracle is still flat. NVIDIA coming off a little bit, now only at $5.60 in the money. Lockheed hasn't done anything, 728. That's just gone quiet. Peloton, I guess we lost about 20 cents on that. It was out 16 or 17 cents. Now it's out 35 cents. So we're still waiting on that. Starbucks out 50 cents on SPLK, out $1 or so. Still waiting. Not a whole lot. You guys are talking about Facebook bouncing off the 50. I mean, as you guys can see, I don't have moving averages, so I'm just going to leave it be. I just want to see what the trading looks like. For the time being, it doesn't look, it's following what the rest of the market looks like, which is just quiet Monday. But when it's this quiet, things are setting up, right? Behind the scenes, things are setting up, and the market wants to make a move at some point, whether it's on Wednesday or even, let's just say tomorrow. But it should be an interesting week at the very least. With this market this quiet, it's never going to be this quiet the entire time. It's gonna open up. You just gotta wait for the time that it does open up to actually throw some risk on the table and actually try to make some real money with this market. Be smart about it. There were some opportunities this early in the morning. Now it's gone quiet. Maybe we get some opportunities if we get a nice little run on the futures. Maybe another 40-point run on the S&P futures could open things up. For me, I'm looking at 44.50, north of 44.50, and then looking to fade that if we slow down. That's my read anyways that I'm looking for on this market. And in the meantime, let's see what you guys... Oh, Evil E talking about KAVL. Let's take a look at KAVL. What do you got on the daily for me? Nice little run up. Okay, I see. Oh, wow, it's been quite a few days of running up. Yeah, I don't even know if you can work with the zone here. I mean, if at the very least, probably that. $3.50.
11 million float.
Well, yeah, it's the low float one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a level right there, and that's like, I wouldn't even trust that level as a big level because that was on the way down, and it was somewhat quiet. So, I mean, if this is your game, best of luck to you because I can't do this. It's not my style. I try to go for not more expensive names, but I am looking for something more, something more volatile that I can actually make a read on and stick with. I feel like with KAVL, you got to catch it and then hold on to it. This is a swing type of trade. Not sure that I can intraday trade this because a lot of the moves happen. Looks like, well, we were $1.50 on the opening of the 9th. And as long as you held that, you were good. Now it's at $2.50. So nice little return over a few days if you held it. But intraday-wise, if you don't get the right timing, it's going to be a problem, right? You can't even make a trade on this. You're going to have to wait this one out. So for me, I'm going to stay away from KAVL, see what else we can get. See what else you guys...
I could go for some super chats here.
Yeah, we got super chats?
Yeah,
Sweet.
so we got Ganguly 19 minutes ago. Prad, you're gonna get the chapo anyway. Just do it, brother. No, I'm not scared about the chapo. I'm more scared about my wounds, which are healing in a beautiful fashion right now. Actually, if you guys want to take a look, for anyone who does not want to take a look, a quick second for you to close your eyes over there. But it is healing beautifully. So just need to get the stitches removed. 7 days are over. My doctors did say after 7 days get the stitches removed, but I want to wait a little bit longer. That way it's just so much easier to pull the stitches out. At least that's what my friends are telling me who have had stitches. I've never had stitches before, so I don't know. Prad should dye his hair and beard like the Kendrick Lamar backup dancers from the Super Bowl.
You brought this up this morning.
I told you that. So as soon as I saw the Super Bowl and the backup dancers, I was like, oh boy, they're gonna make Platinum Prad a whole new thing on the show. And then I saw that coming. So 100%. I'm not sure if I want to do the beard, but we'll do it. We'll do it for sure. Something for sure is happening at the end of the month or before the end of the month. Just waiting for my scabs to heal up. They're actually falling off already in less than a week, so that's actually great. Now it's just time for the stitches to come out, and then we go get our head bleached off. All right, KSCP. So people are still... Oh, we just talked about KSCP. Did you just talk about KSCP, right? Or no, you talked about KAVL. Yeah, you talked about KAVL.
Hey, there goes Zillow. Zillow at new highs on the day, now up 70 cents in the money. We're getting some acceleration late on Zillow, so hey... We put up the risk on this $3. Let's get some upside towards 63, 64-ish, and then we'll consider taking some profit. But Zillow finally started to make a move.
All right, so apparently Zillow's moving. I'm looking for some. So actually, after the super chats, I did want to go look at your volume leaderboard. So today's volume leaderboard, number one on the board is AMD with 64.
Swap the screen.
Oh, sorry. Number one on the board is 64 million shares is AMD here. Then you have your market. SQQ is your 3 times short leverage of the QQQ, which means every time QQQ goes up, SQQ goes down, and every time QQQ goes down, SQQ goes up. So it is opposite of whatever the main NASDAQ market does. And TQQ is basically whatever the market does, but it's 3 times leverage ETF to both of them. SPY, you know what the SPY is. BDSI is a buyout stock. And Ford is Ford, obviously. So a little illiquid on the market today, if you ask me. 64 million shares going to a blue chipper. And then look at your upcappers. None of your upcappers really have much volume. No real... what am I looking for the word? No low flow on the menu to eat from today. So obviously slow day, slow morning, boring, kind of putting people to bed. And in that moment, you don't try to force trades. You just try to protect the money you've already made off the open, and you try to look for the perfect A plus setups, A plus trades that are possible for you in case the market presents any opportunities. So being very patient here, looking for chances. Facebook now back up in the profit zone. Obviously now $2 in the money for. Let me just order this by units per share, so we see the best one up top and the worst one down low. So according to that, there you go. Facebook 20 cents, Activision 27 cents. Very flat on this stock, but obviously look how it trades. And PTON, we're down 20 cents, but look at the consolidation near VWAP. The stock's kind of struggling to take out $34. All of those variables combined, I think I'm still happy, and I'll actually take the stop off 34 maybe instead of the high of range in case the stock does want to rip from me. So we'll see what happens. Let me just throw out the stop over here for 34. 50, 34, let's see, maybe 25 breaks through, and we'll get stopped out on that. How much size do I have left? That's how much size do I have left. All right, cool. Most likely gonna get stopped on this one. Z is running into resistance for New Year's. Yeah, I think that was Zillow. We're waiting on let's just see what that happens. Zillow Group. So this is your it is going into that resistance at 65, as I think someone else mentioned. Resistance from New Year's. Yeah, so that 65 level, we'll see what happens if we do get there today. Quite a bit of a room for it to go all the way there today, if you ask me. But with the way the market's moving, is showing us strength, is showing us buyers are still here. Obviously market lunchtime kind of coming to an end right now. It's 12:51 Eastern Standard Time. From 12 to 1, it's basically known as lunchtime, where people just go for their breaks, and that basically indicates a lower volume period in the stock market. So after 1 o'clock is over, you can expect the volume picks back up, and people come back into their seats and so on. So waiting to see what stock they decide to push their chips on. Currently the market attempting to reclaim the high of day one more time here for NASDAQ, and same with the ES. ES actually positive on the day now. Obviously we were pretty much flat on the whole day. We're still flat, but flat in the positive territory now for the ES. This is your S&P 500 and NASDAQ up 0.91% on the day, both green. Let's go check out what the IWM Russell is looking like. IWM on AM should be positive, and it is. So flat, but in the positive side. So looking good on this one too. ASAN making a little wick top with some volume, maybe an interesting short. Asana, ASAN should be Asana. ASAN. Let's see on the dailies. What does it see? I see 70 barrier on ASAN. Pretty obvious. Looks like it's the high from 10th of February. On the 11th of February, we tried to go reclaim that $70, or maybe we started. Looks like we tried to, but didn't come close to it. Today, we're actually trying to get back to that 70. I'm looking for a short in front of 70, most likely. Even a short here and giving that room all the way to 70 could work out. But I think having a little patience, having some patience will pay off, because you can have a better entry, which will allow you to take more share sizes and hold it to the same risk allotment that you were previously planning to do, which is a break of 70. So I'm going to be a little patient. Look at that big volume candle here on the 3-minute. Let's go confirm if that volume candle is legitimate, because if it is, how come the stock hasn't moved to the downside yet? ASAN. Looks like that volume candle is legitimate, surprisingly. Whoa, so this candle, it says to the green side, but on our platform over here, it says the candle was to the red side, probably because I'm on the 3-minute. So either way, we're gonna wait for this one.
The way the colors are, it's colored based on the candle.
Yeah.
So because the candle's red, the volume's red.
Yeah. Maybe if I go to the 3-minute, that volume candle will show on the 1-minute. Sorry, that volume candle should be green. Yeah, there you go.
No, but the volume is based on
the color.
On the color of the clothes, right?
No, I was just comparing it to the Trader TV one. Sorry, not Trader TV. Trading. trading view one, and I was wondering why the color was different, but also I was on different time spans for both of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, on the 3-minute, that was a down candle, and 69 is about to get tested on Asana right now. Let's see if 69 gets taken out, and I'll get short in front of 70, pretty close to 70. We'll wait for it. Market's still struggling near the high days. What is AMD doing? Still struggling at 118. This is either going to give you a great opportunity long or a great opportunity short. I'm just not sure what. Obviously, applying the dailies, I think we are in front of a resistance, right? If you're looking at the dailies, it looks like this 118 level is a resistance, and that line that I have, it says 118.39, and today's high was 118.38. So, I'm not saying like, oh wow, look at me, that line, I'm a genius. I'm just saying like, looks like that 118 level is very obvious and standing out for AMD. Bio delivery, night scope, cornerstone, go get some pullbacks. KSCP, people are still looking for that to see if they can buy some pullbacks on that, I guess. Asana CEO just bought $1 billion shares, one of the biggest inside buys in a long time. I actually do remember using Asana when I used to work for tech companies, and I loved their platform. I think Asana had a great platform for a board, but those are easily replaceable because like GitHub has a Git board too that you can do pretty much everything you can do on Asana. Overall though, I'm not hating on the company. I remember using it. I enjoyed it. I loved the user interface. There was very friendly. So I am bullish about Asana, but I know how easily that software is replaceable.
I can take care of some questions.
For sure.
Yeah. There's some question regarding someone was asking about SU, Suncor, and what the market or just general oil consensus. Well, as you can see, obviously there's a trend here on the multi-day on Suncor. Good strength, obviously kind of at an area where we failed a few days ago, earlier this month. And there seems to be some support around 27.50 from 28 down. So clear strength. Until we break 27.50, you got to argue that's going to be strength. It's going to be a long, right? And then even with the double top, I'd rather them break the bottom or break that 27.50 level versus coming back in and trying to kind of pick the top without waiting to get that confirmation. Oil, on the other hand, I mean, oil's been on a tear for the last little bit. This is a trend from late December when we were down at $70 a barrel, and nice little move. Took out the 86 high from about mid-October, went sideways for a bit, took another run up. Here we are sitting at 94. We actually moved down today for a little bit and then caught a bid and still going up again. So oil, crude, moving very, very strong. Trend is to the upside. I mean, respect the trend. If the trend wants to go to the upside, you can't really force a whole lot on the way back. Like if you're trying to play for the top or whatnot, it's very hard to do that. Like at some point this will top out, but the market will tell you when it tops out, right? Like trying to anticipate when it tops out on a strong trend like this, essentially what you're doing is what Prad did on Friday, which was trying to go long, or in this case go short for the small bounces versus trying to catch the actual move, the much larger move, which is going to be a lot easier to trade, which would be to the buy side. If you wanted to put a line on it, I'm not a fan of drawing trend lines, but if you wanted to put a line on it, you could argue something like that. But I mean, it doesn't matter how you draw the line is there. The trend is there, it's strong to the upside. I would say the way that crude's moving, until we can clear this same area that we kind of hesitated around, which sits around $82 a barrel, $81.50 maybe. If we were to come back into 86, there could be another buy opportunity there, but it does look like we need to go another $12 to the downside to get rid of this trend that's got in place for about 2 months now. About 2 months now, actually, from late December. So respect the trend. There's strength in oil at the moment, and it's been setting this up for...
Are we at 100 yet?
No, we're at 94.
94?
It's been setting this move has been set up for a while. If you look back to it, and this is the weekly chart, a consolidated weekly chart. So you're rolling the contract over as oil contracts expire, even with that strength. Once we cleared 68, it looks like, you could argue 60 or 70. But regardless, 68 or 70, once it broke above, it found support from the previous highs. It was pretty much right here when we kind of broke through. It was around June of 2021. Once we cleared that area, 56 is the low, and you had essentially a run up towards 84, a drop down to the same support area, and another run up. So the buy opportunity on oil, if you're going for the oil futures or even the oil ETFs, was down here. Now that it's gone, right? It's very hard to capture it at where the risk makes sense on this trade now. So if you're in it, wait it out. Just take that ride to the upside. If you're not in it, just wait it out and wait for the smart move, which is to kind of be patient. At some point, oil will put in a top. It will hesitate. It will give you that information at that point, then step in. But it has been setting it up for a while, and they finally got going in the summertime of last year, and now it's gone. 6 months later, 8 months later, now it's completely gone. And you essentially went from $68 or $70 a barrel to now $94 a barrel. You're looking at $24 in about 6 to 8 months. And that's quite a big move, especially with the way oil's been moving for a decent amount of time. It's been quiet, and then all of a sudden you get this nice little move over 6 months, and there you go. And what are you guys talking about now? Market down? No, market's actually up. 0.79% on the NASDAQ and 0.09% on the S&P. So market as a net is up. Stocks are trending. Maybe some stocks are trending down. Lockheed trending down. But for the most part, markets are up on the day. What else you got on? Neuro, CCL, oil hitting $100 by the end of the month. I mean, those are all calls, right? Those are all calls, and the way that crude is moving, I mean, it's got quite an aggressive trend, and it wouldn't be surprising if that happens. Where's Miss V? Tomorrow. She'll be back tomorrow. So you guys can get back to doing what you guys do with Miss V and Prad, which is Miss V's going to ask for the likes. And if she was here, she'd be like, why is there only 880 likes? We can definitely get more than 880.
Only 1 hour left, guys.
Only 1 hour left. We started strong. I feel like we started, at least like the first 2 weeks, I started strong, and then I just kind of tapered off. I'm just like, eh. And now the like count is somewhat low, I feel, for the amount of people watching, 888 likes. And keep in mind, though, in an hour, then we move from Market Movers to the afternoon show with Sean, Neil, and Brendan. So you're going to see what they've been doing, and whether they've been managing the positions from this morning or they've got some new ones. I know that they're in the chat as well, so they are putting in. They'll keep you guys updated with the information or the positions that they have.
Arun will stay here, guys. If you guys type out the never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down song for Arun. Let's everyone type Rick Roll lyrics in the chat, and Arun's gonna stay.
I mean, you guys can do it, but I'm still not going to stay. But I mean, for the sake of giving Prad some entertainment value, why not? You guys can do whatever you want, but my time is. I think this run has been nice. It's been 2 weeks. I think it's enough time. You guys have had enough of me. I've had enough of coming in. We're gonna move on, and I'll be back in on the mid next week though. For the afternoon. So I will be in like here and there. Every few weeks I'll be here, maybe a day or two or whatever, and then we can
the chat's going crazy with the lyrics.
Of course they are. Facebook flushing. Well, Facebook is coming off that 219.5, now at 218. But again, until Facebook breaks through 216 or gets back above 219.50, I'm not going to do anything Facebook. Facebook is doing this. Let's not force anything with Facebook.
Peloton's coming back down.
Is Peloton?
Yeah.
No, Peloton now at 84 cents. Peloton, we had a chance to go. What happened? Yeah, they bounced right off that 34. It's fine. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but it is fine. Let's see what else we got. Thank you. People saying thanks. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it helped. Whatever I've been saying helped. Don't leave us a indicator. I mean, am I really though? I mean, how much of an indicator am I if I'm 2 longs and 4 longs and 2 shorts? So, I'm just throwing my info out there, throwing my look at the market. you guys do what you guys want with that info.
$8 per share on LMT.
Yeah.
Let's go.
850, dude.
Let's go.
850 on LMT. But to be fair, though, LMT was one of those situations, just like I did last week with
Bill.
Which one?
Bill.
No, Bill was like a $35 winner. But Bill, did I catch that one pre-market? No, I don't think I caught that one pre-market. I caught Bill after the market opened, but there was a couple where I caught him right where it opened. Facebook. Facebook, when I was trading it last week, it was like a couple orders where I got it right off the opening flush, like the first minute or so, when the volume's just moving in both directions.
Yeah.
And this was pretty much the same thing. I caught LMT as there was like a buy move to the upside. There was a crossing happening to the upside.
You just had an order sit in there?
I just had an order park there. And
Nice.
They just ran right into me, gave me the fill, and then fell off as soon as that was done. I was like, sweet.
Best.
So, I've got a couple like that, or a few like that, where the prices have just been stellar. And then if you don't get that price, the risk doesn't make sense, and then you can't catch it because it's already gone, right? So that's the type of situation. LMT is obviously doing well, but at the same time, you had to catch it right off the open. If you didn't have it off the open, then you weren't going to catch the trade because the risk doesn't make any sense. What else are you guys talking about? Platinum Prad. Where's Platinum Prad? Everyone's asking. I don't know. Well, we're going to have to find him because right now we've just got Prad. And I told Valeriia that Platinum Prad is going to be...
Platinum Prad phoned
there.
home and he caught a ship home.
What's
like
that?
E.T.
Oh. He's got a phone home, clearly. Well, I mean, if you go platinum, your mom may have something to say about that.
Here's a question. Arun, how would you trade a firm?
How would I trade a firm? Let's take a quick look. Today? Okay, well, first thing, forget about today. Let's just see what the daily looks like. How would I trade a... Ooh, damn. Okay.
It just broke an all-time low and made a new all-time low.
Ooh, that's a dicey one, right? This happened in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
And at this point, with the amount of sell-side activity you're seeing, you got to see some buying. I want to see some buying come in so we can actually get rid of any sort of pent-up. Right now, I would imagine everyone who's short is trending this one, right? So for you being short and then you're trailing this with a trend, you're going to get out if you get a buy-side move, right? That breaks the trend line or however you're trending it. At some point, that's going to happen, and what I would look for is that specific moment. Get the break where everyone would want to, all the shorts that want to get out, get out. Once that run completes its course, then there's a possibility that there's a brand new next leg of a short that sets up, and that's the trade that I want to participate in, because if you weren't there to catch it when it broke the 74, I think it was it 74? I think it was 74. Right, we were talking about it. I remember that day when when this came out, we were sitting at 80 something.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking to fade this because of this line right up here into 86. Right, that was like my whole thing about looking to fade that rally because of what we were seeing around that 82, 83 area. Obviously, we didn't catch it, but once you came back in underneath 75 and into 74, if you wanted to take a shot at that point against 86, you get the confirmation. You ride it out, and now that it's gone, not just through the low of 47, but also through the May low of, what is that, 46.50, now that it's gone, I want to wait to see how this market is going to go. Because you typically, when you get that kind of a breakdown, you look for an extension. But if the move is this aggressive already going into the breakdown, there's got to be some buying setting up, and I want to see that. I want to see how much buying is left on the table. I want to see sellers that are short get essentially pushed away from this short by a move to the upside, and then I want to fade that rally. As long as it slows down all the way up to 60, I would want to fade that rally pretty much. Right now, we're $16 away from where the stop would be. Let's maybe get into close to 50, break some trends, get some shorts out of the way, slow down, then go for the short and see if we can't get an extension. Of course, you can argue, why not just take it now if it's already set up? Maybe. If you could take it now, if you're okay with the $15 risk, you can take it now. I'd rather give up that, being positioned now, given how we've moved, than to just step in now. I'd rather give that up to get a better price, because I feel like with the amount of sellers or shorts in play here, there's bound to be a move to the upside, and that's where I want to play once those shorts are out of the way. What do we got here? PTON still not willing to move. SBLK still not moving. Zillow coming back in. I mean, the market's slowly creeping to the upside. Now we're at what, 44.16 on the S&P. This market's gonna take some time. If you're up on the day, my suggestion would be to just cut and run, right? Anything that's flat, walk away from. Anything that's deep in the money, manage out of. Anything that's deep out of the money, I mean, wait it out, right? If like, I wouldn't cut trades just because they're out of the money. I wouldn't want a good reason to do that. But at the same time, if they're flat and I'm just getting into them, maybe today's the day to not just force the issue and just walk away from. I am looking through my scanner here, my alert list.
I can say something.
What do you guys say?
KSCP got called out in the chat, made a new high a day. So I'm just looking at, once again, my volume profile to see what type of activity can I identify. So if you guys remember saying, people who are short, they have their stops somewhere here. And I guess my theory is now being actually proven thanks to the volume profile over here. I'm just trying to recalculate. There we go. So every time you see 0, 0, 0, 0, this is basically shorts getting blown out because their stops got blown and they have to buy their shares back, and the stocks basically, this is in other words, a short squeeze. So these guys just got squeezed, and we got this nice little move up on KSCP on the break of the high day, where I would expect the shorts to have their stops at. So if you zoom in, anytime you notice the single prints, these are called single prints, basically it indicates stops were here, and now we need to come back eventually to these price points to see if there's liquidity there. But looks like we're cutting off the supply somewhere earlier than that. So the market makers are cutting off the supply. They're showing buyers are coming in, and the supply is cutting off. That means whoever's still short, and if they haven't gotten out yet, they're really they're scared right now. They're crapping their pants. They're worried about what's going on. And if we don't come back and fill them all over back here, you're gonna see another nice pop coming in. If I zoom in one more time, right here, there were some single prints, but see how we came back and we filled those single prints? So those are no longer single prints, but we still have single prints down here, which basically tells me that these guys are still trapped. If there's anyone short, they're still trapped over here, and they're waiting for this backfill. If that backfill doesn't come in, then you can see that this level is going to be very important for our future. $8.82 is going to be very important in case we don't come back down here for KSCP. So another new high a day. We're keep on rocking to the north side. Volume's actually increasing. So like I mentioned earlier, I just spit on the mic. I'm sorry for anyone who saw that. That's gross. So volume did increase. So if anyone remembered what I say about lunch hour and omakase and all that garbage stuff just to fill time, the point is volume did increase, and it's increasing across the board. I'm seeing some volume on the futures come in too. KSCP picking up some of that heat. Let's go check out AMD picking any of that. AMD shorts would have been killer, but it is what it is. You take the money where the money is being given, and the rest you just cry and walk away from it. I'm actually wondering if I close my Facebook trade now. We're back to only being $1 in the money. I think I want to move my stop up to the break of 218 now, to the downside. If 218 goes, I will be out of this trade for profit, and I'll call it for $1 per share. We already realized about $2 before, and now we're just flirting with $1 per share on Facebook, and I'm gonna let it go if 218 breaks. Activision just keeps on going higher and higher, and I don't want to move my orders up. In other words, I'm being a little baby. I don't want to move my orders up. I'm being stingy. So it's either they come back down and they fill me, or I'm just holding my shares that I have till the end of the day, because I'm not gonna be aggressive on that one. And Peloton, we had to fight this one a little bit. It was a little worrisome for us, but right now we're already, Peloton is looking like it's going to, wait, it's not going to be the #1 stock of the day for me, never mind. Moderna is the #1 stock for me of the day, then Facebook, then Activision, then Peloton. So let's see if Peloton can go fill me more on the downside, break through the low a day, keep going much further to the downside. If that happens, then I can help. Peloton will help me. Peloton will end up being the #1 stock for me on the day. Let's see what happens though.
People are asking Prad actually what indicator that was, the one that where you're showing percentages or something on the right-hand side?
What are you asking about?
You're like, oh, shorts getting blown up, and you're showing some
Oh,
sort
the
of
volume indicator.
Yeah, people are
Yeah,
asking.
this is just a volume indicator. You were talking about it before too, the volume profile on e-signal.
Yeah, but that's different though. What you're showing, I feel like this is probably more accessible for a lot of people than the e-signal one.
For sure.
So, like, where can they find that? What are they looking at?
Yeah,
Like,
so I think you have to pay for the TradingView software. Like, you have to have the package, and if you have the even in the most basic package, I think you can access it. You click on volume profile. The way I have it set up, it's called volume profile for the visible range. But what you can do is also draw your own range that you want to witness for. So if I drew the range for this candle right there, and we zoom in a little bit, obviously, let's let's repaint that candle a little bit. Maybe I can do this and this. Come on. Okay, whatever. That doesn't want to work for me, so we'll delete that one, and just really quickly, I'll see if I can do it one more time here. Close that. We'll go from here to here. So see how these single prints are 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that's basically indicating that these are all shorts. And then some more shorts got taken out here because these were 0 prints. But eventually the backfill came in and they showed liquidity over here. That means basically buyers are stepping in. And they're not letting the stock go down. Now, either that buyers could be market makers messing with the short sellers because they wanna squeeze them a little bit more, or it could be actual buyers who think there's value in the stock and they're buying it. And right here, you kind of see the opposite of the single prints. You see long prints being blown out on the way down this time. So the 0 prints are on the upside, 0 prints are on the downside, and vice versa. But at the end of the day, all it is let me see if I can show you to you this way also. It's called Market Profiler. Market Profile with TPO. Perfect. Let's see if this one ends up working. This chart, it was not working last time too, and it's not working this time either. So I'll try one more time. Market Profile. Market profile, which one? This one. Let's see if this one works. Not really. This one doesn't work like the way I need it to, so we're going to close that one too. Going back to KCP, we talked about KCP. We already talked about Peloton. Facebook coming down. Facebook almost taking out the 218. It actually did take out the 218, but we're back above 218, so we're just going to leave that one a little bit longer alone. Let's go check Microsoft and a bunch of other of our favorite tech stocks that we like trading on the regular.
ask you about
SoFi, yeah, let's go check out SoFi. SoFi coming back down to the lower day. I think I actually like that level on the lower day there. SOFI. So look at that consolidation for the last 3 days at these lows, the low being 12.19. So I think I like that long. If we do go back to 12.19, 12.20s, lower day being actually 12.18 itself, I'm looking for a fill here, maybe getting back to the range. But, you know, just noticing today's move, we've been just so stuck in a sideways channel here. I'm not sure if I'm that excited to take a trade on this stock today. It's kind of same thing like Peloton. You know, I'm not very excited for my Peloton trade. We're just stuck sideways, even though we are down 4%. I guess I could say the same about almost any stock at the moment. Facebook also, AMD also that I was trading earlier, just stuck sideways at the high a day. So I'm not really sure if I'm excited about any of these moves. I'm for sure not excited about Facebook. So I'm just gonna close this one. Facebook, thank you for my profit today. Thank you for that money. We'll walk away with that one over there. Let's see if there's any opportunities that we can find. Still waiting on Peloton to come lower. Arun?
Yeah, I can do something. Frank just asking about this SPY and the Qs. I mean, that's pretty much, I feel like the SPY and the Qs are going to be pretty much the way that the S&P 500, the futures contracts are going to be, right? So with NASDAQ and ES, we've talked about the zone here that they need to clear, this little area on the NASDAQ in terms of resistance. Same thing on the S&P. We'll take a quick look at what that looks like on the spiders here. SPY, let's pull up the daily chart. And it should look pretty much the same. Yeah, it's the same zone. right? It's this area here where longs could be on the table as long as we get through that area, all the way up to 448, it looks like. So here we are, bouncing back up through the 440s, but we've got quite the road ahead of us. If we were to go to positive, if we were to get strength back in this market, then we need to clear some key areas, and it's going to be towards that 448 that's going to be critical on the S&P side of things, right? If we can get back above 448, what you then have is a nice little bounce support off that 440. You get back above the previous support level from early February. That's confirmed now. And then you got to look at the high, right? That 458, 456 area. And then once you get it into that, then it's like, okay, well, can we extend through 460? So first checkpoint is going to be through that 448. Once you get that, you're looking at 456 through 458 into 460. You get through that, and then you're good to go to the upside. Of course, that's, you know, quite a few checkpoints to get through in terms of resistance. And if we lose 440 and we don't even, let's just say we don't even get a bounce and we just completely fall off, then you're looking at what, 430 into 428, all the way down. Essentially, the low opens up if we can't maintain support around here now. As long as we stay underneath 448 and don't catch any buy side activity, it's a problem. We need to get back above there on the S&P, at least on the spiders anyways, and then 460 would be at least more likely to be done.
So you needed to trade in that blue box, you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is we need to get, well, yeah, I guess, but we need to get through that blue box to reestablish support.
Okay.
Right now we're sitting underneath support, and that's still going to be resistance on the way back up. So as long as we get through that blue box, then we have a chance of going back towards the 458 high,
right.
456. And then when we get up there, we essentially need to clear that area as well. We essentially need to clear that. And then once you clear that, you're good to go towards the highs. So essentially, you have two checkpoints that need to be crossed. And if you can get past both of them, you can say that this market has a chance at the highs. If it can't get past both of them, then you've got to argue that, hey, at least we're looking down towards here, and then probably it's somewhere here going on down towards the lows, right? That's a wide range, but it's got to be in that 430 and the low. So that's kind of the range we're stuck in right now, and this market will make its mind up. I would say that I think Wednesday would have to be the day, barring any outside external news releases. Wednesday would make the most sense for this market to kind of make its mind up and where it wants to go and which direction it wants to go. And if you don't get Tuesday, or if you don't get Wednesday, then this market's going to be quiet for a decent amount of time. Keep in mind, though, February tends to be, especially the end of February, also tends to be a very volatile time. I've noticed in indexes, we get a lot more action, not just rebalance action, but the imbalances start to get a little bit bigger towards the end of the month. So that's definitely going to bring some activity. And that's something to keep an eye on, right? So end of February is definitely time to watch these markets. But for the time being, we've got a couple checkpoints ahead of us. And I think with the NASDAQ, the setup is the same. Looks a little bit different, but the setup is the same. Let me remove these lines here. It's the same in terms of levels to clear, right? You've got this right there up to 355. Then you got to get past... essentially this right there to get going towards the upside. But the problem with the NASDAQ is that there's actually more resistance points on the NASDAQ. Once you get past that, then you got to deal with another one in about $15, and then you can look at the highs. So it looks like, at least the way the S&P setting up, that's got more of a clear level if we were to get past both of those areas, versus the NASDAQ, there's more resistance up top. So waiting is the name of the game when it comes to these markets at the moment anyways. And damn, Lockheed is going now. And now that's $9.50 in the money on Lockheed. Let me take a quick look at Lockheed. Yeah, Lockheed just broke the low around 386. So now we're extending even further. And to be fair, this entire read, let me just go over the Lockheed read for anyone who's wondering why did I put the offer, get that price. So on Friday, we got that run-up news out of related to Russia and whatnot. You get the defense names going up. Specifically, Lockheed was the one that shot up most, I think, the fastest even. And then we kind of got through that 398 into 400, and I was like, okay, well, around 400, there should be some resistance. Big round number, typically there is. And then I was like, well, the way we're moving through this 395, we should get some support and then move through 400. That shouldn't be a problem. Well, it turns out that this market decided that it didn't want to go through this. It didn't want to go through this 395 area and actually maintain strength. So in the pre-market, when I saw this, that we were trading, we had pre-market prints all the way down to like 391.50, 392. I was like, okay, so this is roughly where we're going to open. And there's going to be some resistance around that 394, 395 because we've seen it. We've seen it on the 8th, we've seen it on the 9th, and we saw it towards the end of Friday. Okay, so I know 400 is a round number. I can see that we're working this 395 for days now, and we're actually going to come a gap down underneath where we closed on Friday. Let's just go for the short. That makes the most sense given what we've seen at this price point before. So put the offer in, let them open it up and run it right into you, and then you see what happens as soon as it opens up, right? This is a 1 minute chart. We actually barely...
Market's dropping.
Market's dropping? Yeah, it is. Right? We opened here at 394, ran up to 395.50, put in a high, and then immediately fell off. We spent next to no time there up top. So nice little move on Lockheed, and that was my read there. What do we got here? NVIDIA. Why didn't NVIDIA go out? What the hell? Did I miss something? We got to get out of NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm going to walk away from NVIDIA. Lockheed's going to cover pretty much everything at this point. Peloton. Oh, Peloton. Damn it, Peloton. Can you take this while I get rid of NVIDIA?
For sure. So SoFi actually taking out the low here. I'm still, for some reason, even though I said I don't want to be in this, I'm still looking for a trade in here for somewhat. Moving on. Peloton now 60 cents in the money, coming down. Facebook, I'm so glad I closed my trade there. We're gonna be patient on Facebook now, waiting for. Is it on my screen? It is on my screen. Okay, awesome. We're waiting on Facebook to go down to 216 at this point. You know, we did defend 217 earlier. We're not going to defend 217, especially if the market wants to come down this way. But if the market immediately finds any sort of support, any sort of bounce, and Facebook's only at 217, then obviously that could be a beautiful level to look for a long again one more time. So just waiting to see what opportunities the market's going to present us with at the moment. Going across multiple stocks. AMD, man, that's short. I was not prepared to see the market go down. Hence, I was not going to take that short on AMD. But for anyone who did believe the market was going to go down and take that short, you're now $3 or so in the money. So congratulations on that side. Microsoft, we were trying to push that short in front of 296, but like I said, I was scared to push a short on AMD, so I'm going to be scared to put a short on Microsoft also. Overall, that trade's working out. A lot of my positions are actually turning against me, at least the ones that I'm long on. So Activision now only up 19 cents in the money, but that's a good thing because I don't have any size on Activision left. That means I need the stock to come down. Give me my orders. That way I could have size on this trade again. So waiting for Activision to come back to the downside and help your boy out a little bit. Put some food in my mouth again instead of taking it away from me. Peloton now 70 cents in the money. Let's go, Peloton. Give me that fill. Where's my order sitting at? It's sitting at 32.86, and they won't even give it to me. They're being very rude right now. Are they gonna make me chase it a little bit higher? I guess I could just chase it here for that fill. Yeah, screw it. We're going to chase for that fill. We're going to remove that order. We're going to hold the rest of our shares to the downside here. Peloton helping us out. It was scaring us a little bit, but now in the profit. Number 2 stock on the day now, so it has taken over Facebook. Let's go, baby. KACP still rocking higher and higher. Wow, okay, I like that, I guess. Obviously a new high day coming in for KACP. That backfill that we were talking about still not going through. So basically that level at 880 still holding up, which is where the first amount of fills came in. Where is it? Can we... I had it on this chart. There you go. I threw that lineup for you guys on KACP to show you what number is going to be holding up. up, because this is where they're cutting off supply. This is a big market maker function right here. They're cutting off the supply and they're not letting it go much lower, because there's still people trapped here. So they're trying to shake them out. They're trying to burn them out still, if you ask me. Eventually, we will need to come back down here and fill this, especially if we don't fill this in today's session. If you guys remember when I was talking to Arun was talking about the TPO chart and how the letters work, A, B, C. Each letter is basically a 30-minute representation of time and so on. So if anyone uses the TPO charts, maybe you can educate me on that a little bit more. But from what I know, or what I've been learning is if they don't fill this where the shorts got blown, then that's a problem. AMD's apparently ripping. Wow. Okay, AMD. This is what I was talking about. AMD getting a nice volume candle too. Look at that. Beautiful volume candle coming in. AMD bouncing off of, looks like a double bottom over here at 115.50 or 115.75, whatever number you want to use. What is that low over there? 115.67, I guess. So creating a double bottom, getting instantly back over VWAP. Look at that volume candle, what previously mentioned. If that's the case, I'm looking for my long back on Facebook over here. Looking for a long back on Facebook, because if tech stocks are going to look for a rebound like that, I'm going to take out liquidity on Facebook. I'm going long one more time. We're going to give it to the stop, and actually I'm going to keep on adding on the way to 216. So I am now back to being bullish on the intraday. The double bottom will be 216.73, but I'm pretty much going to add every single way all the way down to 216.15. And if 216.15 gets taken out on Facebook, then I guess obviously I'm wrong on this trade. We're gonna call it as a loss and move on. Looking for more opportunities. Maybe Microsoft get a bump over there. Not really. So why did AMD get a nice little bump from that volume spike? Maybe Nvidia did something similar. Nvidia did nowhere close to doing something similar. So now it has me worried about my Facebook long. But you know, we're leaning on a level that we know we want to lean on. So lean on me. Just gotta keep leaning on that level. That's all we gotta do. AMD will be a good short if the market fails VWAP. I mean, that's 100%. Well, obviously we don't know 100%, but I like that. I like that theory over there. If market does take out VWAP, your Nasdaq, there is a chance we go back to negative on the day today. So if the rugs are getting pulled on the tech stocks over here after they have a nice bump up to the north side, then be ready for that rug pull, for the Aladdin rug pulls and everything else. So just be careful.
Well, that's the thing though, right? There's a lot of space for this market to go to the downside.
Yeah.
Because of the way we've been ranging, we failed off the top of the day, right? Around that 44.20 area on the S&P. So if we were to rotate back down now, this is what you're dealing with. This is where the market fell off from. I mean, if you were going for the intraday high, that would have been a cheap trade. Again, I'm waiting for bigger ranges, but if you lose that and we were to move, we still have about another 20 points at the very least before we hit support on the day. And that's not including the larger range, right? So 20 points at least before we hit support on the day, that can open it up towards the low, and then you enter some much larger support area. So there's a lot of space to the downside, especially given where we've fallen from. I know a few of you guys were trying to work the shorts, right? I know, Joanna, you were asking about, you were talking about potentially shorting this market as a whole. I mean, this is the advantage of doing the intraday moves, right? You are able to capture the turning points when they do happen. But again, the trend was to the upside, so I'm perfectly okay staying away from it. NASDAQ, actually, you guys were looking at NASDAQ, I think. Let me take a quick look at what the NASDAQ was looking like. Even though we were trending strong, yeah. See, the NASDAQ was moving at a slightly different pace, more strength, and once they lose the trend there, you know, it opens up to the downside. Now that the market's opened up to the downside, there's some levels that the NASDAQ has to clear. But if they can clear that, the market will open up a little bit more. S&P still has, what, 15 points in space to the downside before we hit resistance. So just this afternoon is starting to set up like this might get a little exciting here after being such a quiet day for the most part. It does look like this market is starting to make some moves and set things up. And if it's going to be an end of the day situation, it could get very interesting real quick. So here we are. Our Zillow's turned, SPLK has been out, PTON is still out $1 and change. Starbucks has now come in the money. 5 cents at Lockheed. LMT is now $10 in the money. And again, with Lockheed, I'm not going to do anything. With the market turning over and Lockheed's trending down, only thing I've got to do is move the stops, move the trailing stops, right? Initially, I had it at 93. We went up to 92 and a half or so, then took out the low. Now I can put it back above 90. Now that we've taken this out, I can move it actually into 87 and change, and we'll leave it be. It's at 385. I don't need to risk too much. I don't need to give back too much, and the market's starting to go. So, hey, why not ride this one out and see how much further we can get these shorts to go?
You see what Neil said?
What did he say?
LMT for trade a day for Arun.
Anyways.
Let's do it, guys.
Yeah,
Guys in the chat, for more likes we all get to peer pressure Arun to do the trade of the day for LMT. $10 in the money. He's back at it again, baby. Back at it again with those 10 plus units per share trades. So let's hear it. Let's hear it. Smash that like button. Where are we at on the counter today?
Where are we? Are we at 1,000? We got
we hit 1,000. We'll take it,
1K.
but you know, we got about 30 minutes left. Come on, guys, we can hit 1.5. Actually, sadly, Arun's last day, unless Miss V.
Watch her now be coming tomorrow. She's like, sorry guys,
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm jet lagged.
Yeah.
I'm like,
unless obviously that happens, in which case we got the beautiful Yoda back to our right again. So
highly unlikely, but no, I've actually got to take care of some. I've got to take care of some stuff for the managers actually tomorrow. So I won't,
okay.
Regardless of what happens. If she's not in, you're doing solo.
Okay. Hey,
today for sure will be my last day for at least for this show, and then you're not taking any time off anytime soon, I don't think. And then I know next week I'll be in for one of the guys in the afternoon. And then, anyways, I'll be here and there every few weeks. You might see me pop in for a little bit, and then I'll be on my way, and we will move on. Yeah.
Looking for the market. So, you know, obviously your NASDAQ and your SPYs kind of both went drastically to the downside here, all the way back to VWAP. Now we're looking for the ES to hold support at the VWAP. If that fails, then obviously people have some setups ready to smash. NASDAQ almost back to VWAP, not there yet. A couple more points for it to go down, and then we'll be at VWAP for the NASDAQ. Still in the positive for NASDAQ, however, even after that drop. We're only up 0.2% now. We were up almost a full percent at one point, and ES now down 0.26. Still flat on the day. ES has just been flirting with being flat all day, up and down, positive 2, negative 2, positive 2, negative 2. So we'll see what happens overall for these guys. Something that I did notice is Lucid Motors did not move at all with that down move in the market. So maybe some strength over here for Lucid that's possible for an up move in case the market starts going back to the high side here. Maybe Lucid could have a possible up move off of that trade. You know, just looking for stocks that have had strength while this market just shows us some weakness and a possibility to go negative on the day and stay negative on the day. So looking for some stocks that actually show some strength. I want to talk about bank stocks and when is the perfect time to start investing in bank stocks or even day trading bank stocks based off the interest rate news change. So obviously we got to wait for the interest rate changes to happen, and then we got to wait for the everything else around that basket to play out. Today though, your financial sector kind of looking flat, I guess. XLF on AMEX. Let's go check out the whole ETF overall. Actually down on the day, down 0.91%. So we'll see what happens. Struggling over here for the XLF, that's for sure. Meta ETF, or are you talking about the Meta ETF or the Metaverse? If you're talking about the Meta ETF, I think it's actually something else now, right? It's a METV. Buyout, long term. Yeah, METV is now the Meta ETF. I am invested in it. I have it at $15. You know, it's just a long-term portfolio kind of thing. I'm gonna just invest in it and forget about it. It's basically a cheaper Nasdaq if you think about it because of what they own. But that's just how I'm looking at it. Just a way cheaper Nasdaq. But you know, obviously it's not Nasdaq. It has Roblox in it. It has Facebook. It has Unity. It has a bunch of metaverse-based stocks. So I'm invested in this guy for sure. Flippity floppity bang bang. Okay, what's the flippity floppity bang bang? What are we talking about there? Facebook back to lower day. So Facebook giving you another chance to take that lower day long and scalp your way back to VWAP, giving you $2 per trade one more time. So let's see if that's going to work out for me. We are long and only down 20 cents per share at the moment. Peloton, 80 cents per share in the money, but nothing much going on. Let's go check out SoFi. SoFi did take out the lower day. We did get closer to $12. Has me a little bit more excited now for this long on SoFi. So maybe I just take this long here. Let's see if I can catch that fill. Probably not going to catch that fill because obviously as soon as we throw the fills, the stock starts running away from us. It's just the high frequency traders just know exactly where we are every single time of the day, which is really annoying. SoFi on the bounce, yeah, I'm trying to take the SoFi bounce, but I don't think I'm gonna get the fill because this inverse gateway guy is just taking all the shares. So I'm pretty much gonna have to cross up and take this fill, and I'm gonna do it because that's the only option I have. Oh wow! And as soon as I do that, the inverse order guys disappears. Whatever, we'll just take the order. We'll just shut up and be happy with it.
You're trying to save some fees there.
Trying to save some fees, pretty much. Yeah, he understood what I'm trying to do.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. But like, keep in mind, like everyone that's not. So we're using Day Trade the World software. So all our trades go through there. The software that you're seeing on our screen there, if you can just put my screen on here, this is PPRO 8, which is built in-house, internal software, not available for sale or use outside of the company. So it's built by the software team, and this is what we got. It's all keyboard shortcuts and whatnot, and there's a whole little not just platform, but there's a whole little thing to go with it in terms of features and all that other stuff that we have. I don't want to get too deep into it. If you are part of Day Trade the World, you already know the situation. You guys can go through the user manual and figure it out. But this is where we enter our orders, right? So as you can see, let me go to a stock that has a lot of different exchanges. As you can see, on Siri here, you see a bunch of different names sitting on the book here. These are all the different books you can go get your shares from. Every book has a different fee structure or cost structure attached to it. So some of them will charge you if you were to be active, meaning if I wanted to buy and I didn't want to buy at 616 by waiting, I can obviously hit the offer at 617. I can take it from somebody else that's willing to offer it at that price, and every book has a different cost. They charge differently, right? Some of them are more expensive, like Arca is more expensive. And then you have some inverse gateways where it's actually free to hit them, free to take shares from them, right? Those were what Prad refers to as inverse gateways. So some of them charge you to take from them. Some of them will essentially give you a credit for taking from them, driving more volume through them, right? So the flip side is that if you're on one of these gateways, like in this case Arca, you get the credit. Someone else is paying to take from you, but you are on the other side getting the credit for that trade. So a lot of the times, if you're trying to reduce the cost, especially for a system like ours, you're sitting on the books that will give you better credits and taking from the books that are cheaper, right? That way your cost for the trade itself is down. The trades themselves, the cost is much lower than, say, at home, because we're not paying the $5 per trade issue or $5 or $10 per trade, because that's not how our cost structure with our platform works, right? Between the deals that have been made with the brokers and whatnot, our cost structure is for the exchanges and for the books and whatnot, but we don't pay that $5 up front. We just have to deal with the cost of actually running the trade through certain books. So for us, we get the luxury of choosing where we want to go with our volume, right? We get to do, and Prad was just trying to get it from somewhere where he didn't want to pay up, right? Sometimes you pay up because you want the shares now, but if you have the luxury of waiting, you can go through different venues and be like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling a little cheap today. I don't want to pay up. And to be fair, that's exactly what I do. I try to go for the more expensive ETF or the expensive books that can give me better credits. And then in the event that I need to actually get the shares and I want the shares now and I'm willing to be aggressive with it, I'll send a routing order, which is like, it'll take from everything, right? We have a bunch of different routes, and a routing order will essentially just go looking for liquidity in order from certain books. And obviously there's ones that are more geared towards cost, ones that are more geared towards making sure you get the shares now. So it depends on what you choose, but Yeah, I like to go for the cheap credits. I want to be paid to deliver my shares to people, and then at the same time, if I really want the shares, I'll just route it out and start hitting everything at the same time, and I'll get my shares. I want the shares now, so I'll get aggressive with it and then go wherever I need to go with it. But that's a game to be played. If you have access to different books and you can control the flow of where you put your volume, it's not just a matter of buying and selling. It's like buying and selling with what keys, with what conditions, and what books and all that stuff, right? So it's a little different when we're trading because we play those. We try to play that cost game while in our heads while we're trading, because although we may want the shares, we also want to limit the cost of the transaction itself. And sometimes you actually net out positive, meaning you actually got paid to send shares in to get into position, and then you also got paid to get your shares out by waiting. So it's a game to be played if you have the environment, you have the market, and you have the infrastructure in place to play that. If not, you just get your shares, screw it, get your shares, play the outright movement game instead of trying to play this stuff. At the end of the day, this is just, small change at the end of the day relative to what your position could be. But when you're taking a decent amount of shares, you want to control your risk, right? But that's just kind of the game we play sometimes. I just wanted to explain that because a lot of times people are like, oh, well, what is an inverse gateway? What is this? What is that? What book is this? Like, if you want your shares now, it doesn't really matter. If you're trying to play the cost structure game, then you need to know that. And that's, if you have the infrastructure, then you would know that, I would imagine, ahead of time as well.
What are the best inverse gateways getting paid when hitting the market orders? So Arun doesn't have a time of sales on his. Why do you not have a time of sales? Why do you not have a time of sales?
I don't need it.
Oh, what? Fair enough. But
I only need it for the futures.
You don't need it for the futures?
I only need it for the futures.
Oh, okay. But why though? But the futures only is one gateway. Why do you need it for the futures?
Flow of volume.
Like the rate of volume and everything, but
Flow
like
of volume. That's all I care for. I don't care about the ECNs or what book it's coming out of.
But like that's what I'm trying to get to. So the question that this person just asked is, how do I know what gateway is the most liquid for the inverse? That is this MI market center. It will basically tell you what gateway is being filled. Obviously, it's saying D right now, which is all dark pools. But you will see a special letter for one gateway and another gateway and another gateway, and that's how you can identify which gateway is filling first, because there's a first in first out rule of which gateways are filling. So if you want to jump behind the gateway that is filling, let's say ARCA is filling right now. I think A is ARCA. You can jump behind the ARCA book.
ARCA's P.
ARCA's P.
Yeah.
So
Edge A is I think A.
A. Okay, so there you go. That makes sense because he's sitting there on the inverse gateway, and every time you see A on the gateway over here, he's basically taking the fills from people by offering money to take the fill. Whereas I usually would rather take money to take the fill. So if you notice the gateways, you can jump behind the gateways. That's why you can understand what gateways are being filled. But obviously, Arun, the CME, there's only one gateway on CME, which makes sense. You don't need it for that, but what you do need for what he said is for the size that's being moved.
The full volume. That's what I care
volume.
for, right? A lot of what I'm doing is like looking at the screen and like, okay, are we getting the right type of buying? Are we getting resistance anywhere? Is there pockets of volume that I need to worry about? At that point, games can be played on the futures, let alone stocks. So that I keep an eye on. I felt like for the flow of volume. But each individual gateway, I mean, on CME it's not a big problem because there's only one.
You got corrected, by the way.
What?
A is Amex. Adam messaged me on Discord. He says A is Amex.
So which one's Edge A? Ask Adam which one's Edge A.
Which one's Edge A, Adam? J.
J. Okay.
J is Edge A.
There you go. I think we should just go to Adam. Just go to Adam with all of them.
For the gateway, he's a gateway.
He knows
demon.
all the gateways.
He's a gateway demon.
I think he's the gateway dude that we need to go to. So yeah, J, and then I guess X would be Edge X. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. So I just go with ARCA. Anyways, this kind of ties in which one's the cheap one and why I go to ARCA, because ARCA is always the one that's paying you the most credits. So I kind of lean on ARCA anytime I'm like, it's not a big deal. I'll take the shares. but I don't want to rush into it. I'll wait on the bid somewhere. So I'll just kind of wait on an ARCA somewhere. I mean, I'll change it up too, but it's usually an ARCA, NASDAQ, or something like that. And then usually when I cross with the Edge A cross or an Edge X cross, depending on the situation. The actual cross, I have no clue what the cross setup is. But anyways, those are kind of the setups I go with. And somebody was asking, how do you get the order imbalance? Contact your broker. Every broker is going to be different.
Do all brokers have the order imbalance?
I mean, the feed is there. So it depends on whether the broker is actually tapping into that feed, right? The feed is there. So most brokers, I would imagine, are already paying for the cost of getting that data feed in.
Okay.
Right? If you're a solid broker, you have that built into your system. It's just a matter of are you programming that in such a way where you're delivering it to the customer is the question. Right? So contact your broker. Maybe they don't have it ready to go, but I would imagine that most brokers do have that somewhere in their system that they may either charge you for or something like that. But anyways, in our software, it's built right into our software. Let me pull that up for you guys if I can actually get one loaded. As you guys can see, we just have something called an imbalance locator. So this info is out of date. As you can see, the market time on this is 9:30. Let me change the font here for you guys, make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. There you guys go. You guys can see it. So that's the last update, right? So this is all stale information from this morning. But at 3:50, we'll get information again from New York, NASDAQ, pretty much from the North American markets again, so we can actually get updated closing imbalance information. And that will be dependent on what your broker has available for you, how it's been programmed into the system, and whether it's even doable in the platform that you're using, right? There's a whole lot of things that need to be in place, especially the infrastructure from the software to the broker's back end. So contact your broker, see if they have access to the market imbalance information if you want that information. I would imagine it's there somewhere. It's just a matter of asking for it and figuring out where it is.
Market going lower. So your ES over here just now started cracking lower again.
85 now. Again, we have another five points or so. Let me just pull this chart up actually.
Yeah.
So we're at 85 right now, and this is pretty much near the low end, right, of the day. Before we get into pre-market activity. But I mean, for me, futures is futures. I'll count all of this, but at the very least, from the top end of the range to the bottom end of the range, and if we break through that 80, then we open up the, I guess, a pre-market activity or the after-hours trading in the futures, or the market as a whole. And again, if this market wants to move, I want it to go. There goes 80. This market's starting to get a real active here. Let's pull up the level 2 on this so you guys can see what the level 2 looks like. That is an H22 contract on CME. There we go, through 80s. Hey, if this market wants to get going, let's go another 20 to 30 points to the downside so we can get into a zone where it can actually start working something. Because it's been a fairly quiet day, and now we're starting to get some movement as we get to close to the end of the day. Zillow holding up well, only down 12 cents for a market that's moved about 20 points or so. LMT obviously on the short side, now almost at $11 in the money. Starbucks, 40 cents in the money. Peloton, oh boy, Peloton. Peloton is not having it today. SPLK hasn't done anything at all with what I've gone with. I think earlier I was looking at Facebook potentially on the short side. If we broke through 216, we just took out 216. As you can see, I have my alerts on Facebook have gone off. All right, now that we've taken the stops out on 216, the question on Facebook is, are we going to stay underneath? And I think if we can stay underneath, then we can open up the downside because that's a brand new low, even going back to a few days, right? So that's a brand new low. I want to see how we trade out through 216 on Facebook. But there could be a trade there that we can work with, and that's what I'm looking for. I think that's the next one on deck, for me at least, on Facebook at the moment. Everything else, NASDAQ down 0.12, S&P down 0.61% at the moment, as this market is still working with those 80s there. 43.80 is pretty much where we're trading around on the futures.
I don't know what's going on with Peloton. Like, the market just went for another leg down and Peloton did not move. So I I thinned my size one more time over here. Now I'm holding 1/3 of my basket. You know, my last entry over here is all I have left as the size. This entry is gone. This entry is gone. All I have is this entry over here. Waiting to see what happens with that. Facebook now $82 out of the money. Reloaded it. Sorry, $82, 82 cents out of the money. I did reload over here. Waiting to see what happens. Obviously, as you guys heard, Arun just mentioned that you know, the stops got taken out. Now the question is, can we stay above 216 and start making a rip to the north side? Volume candles are getting
taking off. Now we're at 70.
Yeah.
We just went another 10 points on the futures after we crossed 80. Bounced a little bit, took another leg. Futures taking off to the downside, but some names are holding up really well. Zillow, wow. Not refusing to die here. As someone mentioned in the chat, Zillow holding up well against this move. PTON is starting to move to the downside. You're short on PTON, right?
I am.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh, it starts moving finally. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, where are you short? Go back to your screen.
I'm short 34 basically. My average is 33.91.
Okay, so me and you have the exact opposite position. Okay, so that's starting to move. Okay, futures finally doing something that we can work with. I think this afternoon is going to be a pretty solid trading opportunity now that we're starting to see this kind of movement. And I think, hey, you know what? We're almost done here. We got 5 minutes left, roughly 5 minutes left before Sean, Neil, and Brendan come back on. And this market is starting to set some stuff up that we can work with. So here we go. Facebook now at 215.50. So clearly no buying coming in on Facebook. Nice little snap down initially. Now starting to work even lower. So I'm definitely going to be looking at Facebook for a potential fade here, or a short move on south of 216. As long as we don't get a wave of buying, we should be fine, and we'll go for the short. Lockheed might be done though. Lockheed might. This might be Ukraine. Yeah, this is starting to look like it's like Ukraine related, because Lockheed's going the opposite direction here. This is a defense name. Let's take a quick look at GD here. General Dynamics. Is that starting to? No, that's going down. What's the other one? It doesn't even matter at this point. I'm just going to keep an eye on Lockheed, because that was not what I wanted to see on Lockheed after this market slid. Yeah. You want to take this? Because the futures have now broken 70. And let me start taking care of some of this stuff.
I'll take it for a minute. There's not much time left. 5 minutes left, guys. So make sure you're spamming that like button. We don't have much time left. And I'm actually looking at what Lockheed's doing over here. Yeah, look at that retracement on Lockheed, and market's coming down. So it looks like Arun's analysis over there. Maybe Putin woke up and he said, hey, listen, you guys forget that I have nuclears or something. So something's going on over here. Russia possibly moving attacks. Russia invading Ukraine already. I know you guys are probably trolling me, or you guys are probably being legitimate. We don't know yet, but we'll see what happens. Ukraine has been informed that Wednesday, February 16 will be the day of attack, according to comments attributed to Zelensky. So apparently the date of attack has been announced.
I mean, I feel like that's just like a very bad act of war.
Yeah, like
we're coming on this day, guys.
Yeah,
be prepared for us, please.
Be ready. We're gonna come on this date. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, a lot of speculation. If you ask me, I need to see the news wires hit myself before I could say, okay, damn, that's crazy. So obviously your markets are pooping themselves right now. Absolute poop. Your ES is now down 1%. Man, these daily rug pulls from the markets are actually annoying me, because I'm up on the day and the rug pull completely destroys me. Like, I'm up on the day right now too, but my positions are turning around. Look at this. Facebook down $1 full. Like, this is getting ugly in the market right now. Look at this. NASDAQ coming off drastically. We have 3 minutes left in market movers. We're looking for some trades to be made. Maybe I should have just flipped short on almost everything in the market. Why didn't I just do that? Your UVXY rocking up right now, up 10% for volatility index. Look at the volume rise. This is for sure news driven, man. Rug pull and news driven coming in. Everyone be scared. This is why you always have your stops. You're always ready for your levels to get taken out, and stop trading when that level goes out. You don't want to give back your whole day. I'm very close to stop trading right now, so I don't give back my day, because if this move from the news wires is what's moving the market for the third day in a row, this happened to us on Thursday, I believe. It happened to on Friday, and it's just happening to us again on Monday. So we're not gonna let the same mistake, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me. But your fool can't be fooled again. So something similar to that mindset. I'm not trying to get fooled again. We're trying to protect our money over here. Come on, only 50 cents out of the money now on Facebook. Let's keep on moving north. Market showing some health, in my opinion. Let's go to the Mr. Index to see what he says, and we'll just send it to the closing show.
All right, so I've walked away from Lockheed as soon as we started taking 386 and then 387. It started getting slippery. Lockheed was not somewhat thin, it's very thin. So this is what Lockheed looks like right now. That's a 35-cent spread and next to no volume on either side. So as soon as they started getting above the 386, I started looking for locations. I eventually had to start chasing it up and just walked away from it completely, right? So we're, as you can see on this chart here, I'm out. I'm done. That's a net of 7.5 on the remaining portion, and 5 on the first bit, and then 7.5 on the second bit. Oh, actually, you guys can't see it. Let me move that over. There you guys go. Up there, 5 on the first bit, 7.5 on the second bit. We're done. We're going to walk away from Lockheed. Starbucks is starting to go. Great. PTON, I'm just stuck in, right? It's in a location where I can't really get out because the stop is not that far away. So we're going to have to wait this one out. SPLK, we've been stuck in this morning. SPLK doesn't care what the market's doing. SPLK is going to do its own thing. And it's decided that it wants to do absolutely nothing, because that's SPLK for the last little bit. So until we get a move on SPLK, I'm going to be stuck in this one. Maybe towards the end of the day, I'll get it out. But we do have setups potentially on Facebook now. I've noticed that AMAT as well has broken some lows. AMAT broke 3150, and that one actually looks pretty decent on the daily. So I'm going to work with AMAT on the sell side as well. And between Facebook and the AMAT, I'm pretty happy. I don't think I want to step into too much more, because the futures are much closer to where I want to be trading from. So with the futures being as close as we are to 60, and from 60 going on to 20, as long as we can get a setup on the buy side, I'm cool. I'll play as long as we get the setup. Doesn't mean I'm going to go for the long. I'm just saying that we're entering a zone where I can actually start working the long, so I can start trimming some, not risk, but I don't need to start taking risk on the futures or on stocks when I have the ability to take it on the futures. Guys, it's been a pleasant run, but it is time now, as this show comes to an end. Prad and me, we're going to move on now. It's going to be Prad and Valeriia coming in tomorrow. And now we're going to go to the morning show, or not the morning show. It's the afternoon show. Afternoon show with Neil, Brendan, and Sean.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks, guys. Welcome to the close. 2 hours to go in what's turning into another negative day for the overall market. Reports suggesting the U.S. is saying that satellite images are showing that Russian forces are moving away from where they were assembled, which could suggest something is happening between Russia and the Ukraine. BuzzFeed also reporting that Ukrainian President